Hello, and welcome to tonight's episode of Drachmae and Demigods. I am Sammy Ferber, and I'll be your host for the evening. Welcome to tonight's episode of the Links of Tartarus campaign, Season 2. We're back. If you are new here, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. All of Season 2, as well as Season 1, are available on our YouTube channel to watch at your leisure. But if you don't have time for that, or if you're fully caught up, here is a brief synopsis of where we are in the story. So, previously on the Links of Tartarus, the Hands of Fate returned from the underworld and found themselves in the Age of Darkness. 18 months had passed since their deaths, and with the absence of Apollo and Hephaestus, the world had descended into a somewhat post-apocalyptic state. Once proud towns and cities were taken over by one of three organizations. The Eyes of Gaia, the organization that had organized the ritual that had killed the gods in the first place. The Cult of Tiamat, an organization devoted to resurrecting the ancient evil dragon deity. And the Society of the 100 Hands, an organization run by the party's allies, who alone were attempting to maintain some level of optimism in such a pessimistic time. In this new world order, the Hands of Fate have been using their connections and their resources to try to defeat as many of the gods' enemies as possible before Hecate enacts whatever her final plan may be that this has all been leading toward. First on that list was Tromokratis, the Kraken Lord, the once personal pet of Oceanus, the Titan of the Sea. So the party went to the small island of Apple's Folly to try to track down an ancient relic called the Horn of Eumenides, a horn that once belonged to Oceanus' champion, that is said to have the ability to summon Tromokratis to lay waste to cities. The Hands of Fate found the Horn of Eumenides in the esteemed collection of Elea the Collector, secretly Evio the Bronze, the original bronze dragon in disguise. After a fight and some persuasive conversation, Evio agreed to give the horn to the party, and would potentially wade into the coming epic war if it meant going up against the original chromatic dragons once more. Now with the horn in their possession, the party went to Athens, and attempted to get approval from King Theseus and his advisors on the Athens coalition to use the Athenian naval port as the battlefield for their trap of Tromokratis. And while the coalition was divided, they eventually agreed, meaning planning could commence on how to make a trap so powerful it'll prevent Tromokratis from laying siege on the city. As part of that trap, the party recruited Paloma the War Dove, and Alexios' old mentor, Alcmenos the Once Smote, to design powerful undersea mines and other weaponry, as well as devise clever uses of warding glyphs to give the mortals some advantage in the coming fight. Elsewhere, the party learned of an abnormal increase in the rate of sorceress children being born, and learned that the Eyes of Gaia had been collecting some of these children to attempt to determine what it could mean. Also, Alexios asked Cora to summon demigods Vanix and Techalus back to Delphi to potentially accompany the party on a journey to the divine battlefield. Also, as the party plans the trap in Athens, Anura flew off to the nearby town of Marathon to potentially catch a performance of Delphi's own Lysandra the Talker, who has apparently been reciting her epic poem about Anura to crowds all over the Alliance. So, as we come into the story tonight, we're going to start with Anura. So, Anura, you have flown away from Athens as an eagle, on your way to the town only 26 miles away of Marathon. As you approach it, you see it coming as the edge of the continent is near you. Marathon is a coastal city. It borders the bridge that connects the mainland Grecian continent to the Isle of Ares and Spear Point. You see that Marathon is not nearly as grand as Athens. It is largely a village, a small town. It is famous mostly for its name and for the message that was sent that gave the marathon its length. And it is used mostly as a port to get from Marathon to Spear Point and from Spear Point to Marathon. It is by far the easiest way to get from the Isle of Ares to the mainland and the least fraught with dangers. As you fly in, go ahead and make an investigation check for me to see if you can pinpoint where Lysandra the Talker might be.
Sorry, I was like writing as fast as I could to write down information about this one in case it came in useful. Oh, I got a nat 20!
Nat 20. Okay. So, Lysandra the
Word.
Talker is called Lysandra the Talker not because of her epic poems, but because she loves to talk. And as you're flying low over this city, you hear a loud commotion coming from what looks like one of the taverns on one of the main thorough streets. And you hear the unmistakable and familiar sound of Lysandra having some sort of heated debate or something from inside. What would you like to do?
Is there a way I can get in still as the eagle?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
I don't have my perception pulled up. It's +4, I think, though. Yeah, it's +4, so 17.
17. You do see one window that looks like it's maybe on the second floor of that building that is cracked open that you could probably get through.
If I was to go in that window, is it possible to get down to the bottom floor, or probably
You have
not?
no idea. You can only see the outside of the building.
I'll go ahead and fly in the window, but I'm not going to transform back yet.
Okay. You fly into the windowsill, and you see that you're on the second level of what is probably a tavern/inn. You're looking at a fairly uniform hallway with doors that you presume lead to bedrooms and inn rooms, but there is a staircase leading down.
I would like to go to that staircase.
Okay. You fly toward the staircase, and you see below you a tavern that is as lively as taverns can really be in the Age of Darkness. It's certainly not as lively as you've ever seen a tavern. Mostly people are here to drink and forget their sorrows. And you know from having traveled in your time since you've been back from the dead that oftentimes when providers come to cities to drop off magical means of sustenance, since there is no food, they will often drop any remaining items off at the local tavern, at the local inn, so that people can gather and continue to eat for at least a little while after the providers are gone. And you see that these people seem to be eating a good berry or two and existing rather than thriving. But you do see in a corner booth the familiar form of Lysandra the Talker in a fierce debate with what looks like what was probably the barmaid, who has been pulled into this booth to have this debate. Listening for a bit, you hear that they're actually debating the syntax of one of Lysandra's lyrics, and she's insisting that it's the way that we say it in Delphi. It is proper. It may not be the way you say it down here near Athens if you're fancy, but back where I come from, that's how we say it, and that's, you know what? That's my art, and who are you? But like going on and on and on.
God. Okay, I want to fly over till I'm fairly close to the corner booth, and then, like, out of her line of sight, transform back into Honora.
Okay. Are you trying to be out of her line of sight or out of everyone's line of sight?
Just out of her line of sight.
Okay. You go around the corner, turn into Honora. You see there's just one drunk guy that's like sort of right next to you as you do this, and he sort of looks over and goes, "Yeah, you're the one from the song." And
Yeah, that's me. That's me, and then I'm gonna go over to the corner booth and sit down next to her without saying a word.
She's in the middle of saying, and the one last thing is, the barmaid just looks at you and goes, And she quickly scurries off. Lysandre's just staring at you. You're really here?
Yeah,
So that message I got, that was real.
that was real.
I thought you were dead.
That's a really long story. I was for a little while.
Suddenly, she just gets this sort of realization. She goes, you can't be here. We have to get you out of here.
What? Why?
Upstairs, now. Go.
I'm gonna turn back into. I'm gonna turn into a cat and sit on her shoulder.
I think you've already used both your wild shapes today.
Have I?
I think so.
I thought we had a long rest, and then the only one I've used is this, right?
We'll say sure. This is your last one now. So you turn back into an animal and scurry up to the upstairs with her. She hurriedly unlocks her door, gets you into the room, locks the door, and takes you off her shoulder.
Okay, I'll turn back.
Thank you.
What do you mean I can't be here?
Well, because I just performed last night in front of all those people about the tragedy of some purple-skinned tiefling person with stars on their arm that ends in their heroic but unfortunate death. Now, if a horned purple creature with stars on their arm walks into the tavern, they're gonna know I'm full of shit.
You're technically not full of shit, though. You just have to add to your poem now.
Exactly what I was going to suggest. If you don't mind, I'd love to get some notes on what's been going on in your life since I last saw you.
I mean, yeah, but is that the only reason you ever wanted to talk to me in the first place?
Of course not. But times are hard.
Can I insight check that?
Go ahead.
The 27.
That is absolutely, if not the only reason, the main reason that she ever talked to you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You haven't got to lie about it. If you just needed a muse and I was there, you just have to say it.
Look, I'm sorry for how we've sort of gotten crossed, so why don't we start fresh? Yes, I find you inspiring, and I've enjoyed telling the story of you, and clearly there's more story to tell. And while yes, you would be my muse, and you'd be helping me, I'd be helping you and your friends. Because if I know anything about adventurers, it's that you don't live very long. And after you're dead, after we're all dead, stories will live on. And you need someone to tell the story of the Hands of Fate. And I can be that person. But you're right, I shouldn't have approached it in the way that I did, and I'm sorry. I've never really done this before, but I don't know. I feel a connection to you, and I mean, you saved the city. I saw it with my own eyes. And I don't know, there's just something about you that makes me think that you'd be one hell of a muse.
Lead with that next time.
Apologies.
It's fine. I know what you mean, that we need someone to tell the story of the Hands of Fate, and I agree. While not for me, the rest of the party at least.
Not for you.
You said the thing about adventurers not living long. The end of this, when it's over, I have to go back to the underworld.
Well, we all go back to the underworld, eventually.
I have to go back. A long story. Do you want to hear it or not?
I want to hear absolutely everything. If I'm gonna tell your story, I want to tell it right. We don't need to go into it, but if you'd like, you can tell her everything that you'd like to tell her.
Yeah, so whole 9 yards, dad died, met Hades. Hades said I could come back and get him when my time came, whenever that may be.
She just furiously is taking notes on like any piece of spare parchment she can find and any quill that she can find. And if you're okay with it, she will ask you questions for hours trying to understand your story, the story of your friends, what you guys have experienced, what she knows, what she doesn't know, what holes you can fill in. She wants to know absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Okay? It's hard to say it grows late when the sun never rises. But you can feel yourself tiring. Food is brought to the room, wine is brought to the room. Eventually she runs out of paper. And she just looks exhausted and says, well, I'll tell you what. That's one hell of a story.
It's not over yet, but
That's
when
exactly
it
what I
is,
was going to say. Just needs an ending.
it'll have one.
But it's up to you to decide what this ending is. Is this a tragedy? Or is it something else?
I choose to believe it's something else because my dad didn't know what he got himself into. He didn't deserve this just because a minor god decided he was pretty and he ended up with a purple-skinned child.
It's
The
funny.
stars.
I was going to say the same thing about you. I mean, from all you've told me, it seems like all you signed up for was to do a gauntlet. And look at you now.
I don't know if I'd call myself a hero at this point, but I was there at the right time, and I knew what needed to be done, and I went with it.
Well,
But it's getting late.
sure.
I have to
If
get
you'd
back
like-
so the story can end.
If you want to spend the night.
Can I get an idea of what time it is?
No.
Sorry, I was like wanting to write something down. I just looked at a Gavin going like this. It was like right in my line of sight.
Yeah, I mean, time is really hard to figure out if you don't have magical means to do it.
Yeah. I'd love to, but you look exhausted, and I need to get back to my party.
Of course. Well, tell them I say hi, and whenever they can, I'd love to talk to them as well.
Yeah. I'll let them know when the time comes and the story comes to an end if I'm not there. Let you know how it went.
I'll let you know when I'm done. Be safe, Anora.
You too. There's some places out there that are not so good right now.
She gives you a kiss on the cheek. Take care of
I'm
yourself.
going to take the gate stone out of my pocket, and before I get stone away, I'm going to turn to her and go to like cup her cheek and give her like a really soft kiss, and then say goodbye, Chandra. Tell the story well, like I know you will, and then gate stone away.
Give an ending I deserve. And you're gone. So, as that's happening, the rest of the four of you are back in Athens. You've gotten the approval. And I will say, just to sort of retroactively make something make sense, because Alcmenos would have known this, Sammy didn't know this, but we'll just say that the Once Mote agreed to come up with ideas for the Glyphs of Warding, but he himself will not be making them, as you can't transport them more than 10 feet. So he would have known that, so that's what he agreed to do. So you're in Athens. What would you like to do? The King Theseus brings you down to the docks, to the Colossus, and sort of lays out what this battle might look like. But it's really up to you guys. Some of his advisors are still with him. Specifically, the general is with him, as well as the archmage. Those who are going to be most integral in actually helping you guys figure out what to do here. But you're in charge, so what do you guys do?
So, is there a way that we could, I guess, use glyph of warding or something similar to be able to move it? Are we going to have to cast glyph of warding on these objects when they're, like, in place?
Yeah, so the way it works, you'll have to, someone at least, will have to cast the spell on the item when it's essentially where you want it to be. If you move it more than 10 feet, it goes off.
Okay.
And do we have people here that could do that, or do we need to go and find?
Oh yes. The archmage informs you. I mean, there is a very well established arcane school here. It's Archmage Scarin the Goldcloak. He himself is the headmaster of this school, the Femian University of Enlightenment. That is a center for arcane magic. It's a school for wizards. It's a school for sorcerers. A school for bards. It teaches all sorts of forms of arcane magic. And while most of them are students, there are certainly teachers and other things like that would be capable of casting this spell at a level of varying degrees.
Okay.
And how much of a range do these have? Is it just like 5 feet, 10 feet? Depends.
It depends on the spell. Like if you put a spell into it that has a 150-foot range, then when it goes off, it will have that exact range.
So if we just put these things chock full of Eldritch Blast for force damage, that'd be fine. Sorry. Just imagining like 100 Eldritch Blasts go off at the same time underwater.
A bunch of guiding bolt and eldritch blast all directions. He has nowhere to go.
Okay, so I guess strategy planning, I feel like there should be waves of different types of glyphs of warding. As in, you'll have like long range in the back, shorter range in the front, and we could have like maybe like levels. So as like Tromokratis swims in, then he'll hit one after the other. That makes sense?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to strategize on how to do this.
And I will also say, since we have the map here, if you would like to actually place where you want things to be, you're welcome to do that on this map, and then I'll just make it like finalized for the when it actually happens.
And so the strongest person here, like, I'm trying to understand glyph of warding. You could just put any spell into this thing.
Yes, as long as it's a spell that you know and you can cast, you can put it into. I believe it has to be an action spell, but other than that, I think that's the only thing that it is.
And so there's people here that can like put in 9th level spells.
Theoretically, I mean, 9th level is really powerful.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was anybody here that could do that.
So theoretically, if someone had a cantrip, like, okay, it's an action for me to cast Eldritch Blast, right? And that sets off 3 beams. So could I put all 3 of those into one warding flare and just do that like over and over and over again?
On different warding flares?
Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially, if you know the spell warding glyph of warding, you can put any of your spells into it, and it'll be as if you cast it in that space at that moment.
That's a cantrip for me. I can literally just like over and over and over again.
That's true,
You don't know
but you don't know the
glyph of
glyph of
warding.
warding spell.
True.
Okay. So we need to get a list of all the people that know the glyph of warding, so then we can figure out what spells they have.
Yeah, and
Go
I
from
will
there.
say, if it helps, we don't need to do this moment by moment. within a day or so, you would have received word from the Once Mote that he came back to you with some suggestions for some combinations. Specifically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different combinations that he thinks could be very effective in this fight.
Let's hear them.
All right. So base level, a 3rd level slow spell. So if he fails the Wisdom save, he gets a -2 to AC and -2 on all of his dex saves. He gets no reactions, and he can only use an action or a bonus action. So if you can slow Tromokratis, that's significant. Then a 4th level banishment spell. As far as we in the history books know, Tromokratis is maybe native to this plane, maybe native to the elemental plane of water. We're not entirely sure. So depending on the answer to that, banishment might do one of 2 things. If he's native to the water plane and he fails the charisma save, he'll get just pushed back there. If he's native to this plane and he fails the charisma save, he'll get banished to a demi-plane for a minute. So at the very least, you'll have a minute to regroup, heal yourselves, prepare before he shows back up. There's also a 4th level control water that you can use to part the water around him to stop him from swimming. There is a 4th level Ralathim's Psychic Lance, which is the first one of these that would actually do damage. It's an intelligence save, or he takes 76 psychic damage, and he's incapacitated until the start of your next turn. Then a 4th level Vitriolic Sphere, which is a dex save, or else he takes 10d4 acid, and another 5d4 acid at the end of his next turn. And then finally, a 5th level Synaptic Static, which is an intelligence save, or else 8d6 psychic damage, and for the next minute, he subtracts 1d6 from all attacks, ability checks, and concentration checks. So it seems like the ones that he chose, some of them do damage, but even if they do, they're sort of focused on giving you other advantages in the fight.
Will you send us that list?
Personally, I think that the Slowed and the Psychic Lance are a good combo, or Slow and Synaptic Static. Definitely, I mean, slowing down and subtracting an armor from rolls is a huge help, but what was the Psychic Lance again? That was their incapacitated, or was it they...
Yeah, Psychic Lance does damage and incapacitate until the start of your next turn.
That would be huge.
This is all
And if
that
you get those, like, space, like in
No, I'll say, I
areas,
mean, this would have taken...
Yeah.
Yeah, this would have taken at least a day, so you would be back by now, Nor.
Okay, I would say on that, the other one that would probably get though is the Vitriolic Sphere, because it does an initial hit and then hits him again on top of whatever we do that turn as well.
Okay. I think they're good. I mean, should we have slow on, like, all of them and then psychic and acid?
What was
This
the...
isn't like more than one like spell on a glyph. It has to be like separate. So
Yes.
like if you wanna like, it's like you want to slow and something else, slow has to be like peppered in there.
Yeah,
Just
so
like-
so essentially, if you wanted all 6 of these spells, that would be 6 different glyphs of warding that you can do, and then you could duplicate any of them, and you could have like 5 slow glyphs that are spread throughout the battlefield, and then you can do whatever you would like, but they are individual glyphs.
And what was the one spell that you got hit with, Ryujin, in the underworld?
That was Feeble Mind.
Evil mind.
Feeble Mind. Is that one that can be added on? Because I felt like that was really...
That is a more powerful spell than any of these. The most powerful spell that he gave you was a 5th level. Feeble Mind is 8th level.
I don't know how strong that was.
Yeah, it's the 8th level. I mean, it certainly would be a powerful one to do, but you wouldn't be able to like have a bunch of them.
So, as far as the business go, can they be putting them on objects, right?
Correct.
Yes.
So, could you put multiple glyphs on the same object?
No.
No, they need to be individual objects.
Okay, that's what I was confused about. And then the other thing is, whoever casts Swift Warding is the one who has to
Have this.
cast the spell that goes into it.
Yes. You need to have both
So-
spells.
In theory, though, someone could make like a scroll of Glyph of Warding, and other spellcasters could then use that to cast Glyph of Warding and add something.
It's possible. It would take a little
Okay.
time.
Too
but-
bad Keen Eyes is son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He's dead.
I will also say in the message that the One Smoke gives you, he also says that the glyphs of warding can be set to trigger under extremely specific circumstances. So, for instance, it can be a proximity-based thing, but you can also set it so that it's a proximity-based thing, but only for titans, or things like that, or like only for swimming creatures or anything like that, to sort of
Only
prevent
for,
any
like,
accidental
gigantic
discharge.
So cool.
beasts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, can I just say real quick about the Sorcerer's Children's thing, because before I forget about it? Is it because of Hecate and her coming to more power and her followers coming to more power that can be causing that? Because that just kind of clicked for me earlier, and I don't know if we actually talked about it last week.
Maybe.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
As if Sammy would tell us anything.
Well, I was putting it out there in general, because maybe that's something we should also talk to the people about at the Arcane School.
Sure.
And I feel like that's on the back burner right now.
We said that before, and then we went into something that was on the back burner and died.
Alright, so what are we thinking? Definitely slowed and either a mixture of like psychic and acid?
Yeah.
Because I mean,
I was-
that psychic lance incapacitation would be huge, but damn, what's the other spell? I literally have it. Shit.
Which one?
Synthetic
The
static. The -6 or D6 from rolls. That could be huge too. I mean, he's probably gonna have like massive bonuses, but I feel like in this circumstance, everyone is gonna help.
So are all of these save based, Sammy?
Yes, none of them are attack roll based.
So how would attack roll based work in glyphs?
That's a great question. I think it uses the attack bonus of whoever casts the spell.
Okay. Because like these are all really good combinations, but if he passes these saves, I mean he's not going to be stupid, and these are all wisdom and intelligence based saves.
Good, but if there are multiple saves, I mean, there's a good
Yeah.
chance to fail a couple.
Hedge and bet.
It depends on the save DC. I'm guessing the save DC is based off the caster as well.
Even if it's just like 1 or 2 rounds where we get the jump, that's a lot of damage.
Plus, as strategist DM here, assuming that he has some legendary resistances, even if it just eats some of those for you, that's
Yeah,
good
true.
too.
Totally
That's
forgot
true.
about that.
How many of these can we have on the field theoretically?
It depends how much time and resources you're giving it.
Okay.
It's I mean, like, it would cost a spell slot at whatever level the spell is per glyph, and then the time to like find the thing that you're doing it, go out to the place that you want to do it and cast the spell. So like it's not an immediate process, but you can rank up a few.
So the One Smoke basically just was giving us ideas and combinations and stuff. They can't actually cast this. We have to get people to cast it. So are we still gathering like resources for the One Smoke, or are we doing all this in Athens? We don't have to take anything there. Just he's basically
He's essentially like
idea man?
he's the idea man.
Okay.
And he's also like working on the mines and that sort of thing, as is Paloma back in Delphi. But all of the actual spell casting will need to happen here in Athens.
What
So we still need to get. Well, we can do all like this, the glyphs here with like natural objects like coral, rocks, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the mines specifically, what are we doing for those? Are those going to be?
I mean, you have Paloma making them.
Yeah.
I can't remember what we said for that though, because that's not a glyph of warning, is it?
No, that's just a mine.
Just like
That was she still
like
had to
force
come up with
damage.
design
Oh
for it.
yeah.
The One Smut was working on a way to change it from fire damage to force damage, and Paloma was working on the actual mine construction.
So we still need to get money to them for construction of however many of those we can afford, plus money for the casting glyph of warding.
Not to
For-
mention the then transport of said mines to Athens.
Well,
What
we could
level
probably take care of
spell
that,
is Glyph
right?
of Warding?
It's a 3rd level. But
thank you.
if you're casting a high level spell with it, then it would use a higher spell slot.
And what does it take to cast? 'Cause I don't have my handbook in front of me right now.
I don't. Let me check. That's a great question.
Because I can go grab my handbook. I just don't have one right now.
It requires incense and powdered diamond worth at least 200 gold, which is consumed every time you cast the spell. So you need 200 gold per spell cast.
Okay, so that means we gotta make these count because we're not made of money. But
yeah, so that's genuinely like a question that I would have for you is how much money do you want to spend on this? How many glyphs do you want?
how much money do we have total? Because I myself am willing to give it everything I have, and I have 1,001, just under 1,100 gold.
So I have our party funds. You have 150 platinum, 5,220 gold, 8,500 silver, 1,080 bronze, and then we have a random 500 gold worth chalice thing.
So,
I thought we used this.
say that again. Hold on. What was the platinum again?
150.
150. So that's 1,500 gold right there, right?
Yeah. So like,
So-
if you just add the platinum and gold, that's like almost.
That's a lot.
Like,
I
Yeah.
will say, with
5,000?
that kind of money, your limiting factor is going to be the amount of powdered diamonds you can find.
Yeah. So I guess how much can we find in like a week's worth of time?
Go ahead.
So that's what 7,600 gold is what we have total, not counting like all the silver and
Mhm.
and not counting the chalice either. So that's what
So, okay.
8,100 total
Isn't
gold
that the
without silver and
chalice?
copper.
That we got from Honora's mom.
All I have down is the 500
I don't
gold
think we got a
chalice.
500 gold with chalice.
I think it was supposed
did
to
we?
be used for something,
For
but
heroes.
If it was the one that we got from Honora's mom for that, it's been used. It was used for Heroes Feast.
oh,
Or
Because I've cast Heroes Feast.
Yeah, it's gone.
okay, cool,
Okay.
gone.
It's consumed.
Okay.
so 7,600.
for the party, or is that including reunions?
That's
That's
in the
including
party.
Okay, so
So, Ilmay, will you do me a favor and roll a d4?
Yes.
Yeah, that's including mine as well, I believe.
okay, if
No,
you add
I
mine
don't think so.
No,
we
I
have
added mine in
7,000 gold, pretty
because
much.
there's 5,000. You said in the bag along with another. Damn.
No, we pretty much have 7,000 gold. I rolled a 1.
for the party,
Like-
so
All right,
Okay.
hold on. Let's take a step back. Hold on.
yeah,
How much do we have in total in the party funds alone?
yes.
Because you said it was 1,500 and 5,000, right?
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, just how much
This
is
is
in the parties?
150 platinum, which would be 1,500 gold, and then 5,000 gold in the bag.
Yeah, so we have like 7,500 in gold.
Is
Yeah.
that including the bronze and silver and everything? Because we
Yeah.
have 150 platinum. Okay, so you said 7,500 for the party.
Yeah.
I'm so lost right now.
Hold on.
Okay,
Here's what I'll
you
say.
have about 1,100.
Ilmay rolled a
I
1 on the
said I'd go
d4.
all in, and I
Yeah.
got 3,021. So 1, 2, 6. So if the party funds go all in, or Eugene goes all in, and Honora goes all in, it's 11,621 ish for gold.
What I will say, since Ilmay rolled a 1, is that in Athens, all that you can find, or all that Theseus is able to spare for you, is 1,000 golds worth of these supplies.
Damn.
Someone message Cora.
Yeah, can we
Talk
yeah,
to Cora.
Cora and then
Oh, I have
and,
a sending stone. I can talk to Cora. I forgot about that. I'm gonna grab the sending stone and talk to Cora.
Okay?
One of us would.
see if she
I mean, would I know if Cassandra would know anything being like a pirate / merchant? Maybe where there's like a larger amount of.
Of powdered diamond.
More specifically, maybe just like treasure in general, like a richer, like Athenian aligned territory.
Are you gonna contact her?
I believe we should, but I don't have a way to do that on my own. So, adagio.
We'll say we can use a sitting stone to talk before her, but can we just like if we have regular diamond, can we turn it into powder diamond?
Yes, absolutely.
So I can give 2 castings worth from my supply of diamond.
So that brings you currently up to a total of 7 castings.
I have no diamonds. Can adagio cast?
I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Cora real quick because that's also a good place to go to. I think.
You have 1 casting of sending. What are you gonna say?
Wait, I was sending stone is 1 casting?
Yeah, 1 per day.
Oh, I thought you could just talk to them.
No. It's 1 casting of sending.
I'm an idiot. It's fine. Okay, so 25 words. Got permission from Theseus. Need to find diamonds. Do you know where any are? We have the money. Please help. Also, be safe. Bye.
Not a lot. I think here in headquarters we have maybe 100 golds worth, and that's really it.
Adagio.
How did she know where we could find any? Not how many she had.
Wait, what? Could we
We could go
talk
back to
to?
Albatross's horde.
Could we? I mean, we have a good relationship with the king of Sylvan, right?
That's true.
Maybe we
It's
could talk to the
Gaia
Archmage,
territory.
or sorry, not the Archmage, the
Arcanist.
Arcanist, and see if
Xenobodem.
they might know if where we could score like a large amount.
Yeah,
I would say the Arcanist and Cassandra probably are like some good leads. Maybe not the best, but that's at least what I can think of right now on the spot.
Okay, this is all up to Adagio.
Yeah, he's the one with sending.
Agio?
Adagio, what are you doing?
I will open my arms and use myself as a telescope. Telephone? Television? All of the above.
I like
Got it.
telescope better.
Telegram. All of the above.
Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters?
All of them. I got everyone apparently. I
Almost
just have
actual.
the spell slots to freaking spare. Don't know what this spell. Is that a 3rd level? Did I even
Yes.
prepare this? Oops, I hope I didn't.
If you did prepare sending, I'm gonna laugh so hard.
I just work here. Okay, I'm gonna cast it 4 times. What my level allows for. I'll send one to Cassandra first, I guess.
Okay. What do you say?
Dire need of diamond and treasure. Serious inquiries only.
What was the accent?
Mainly just diamond and diamond.
That's what she gets. That's what she gets. She's getting trolled by Adagio.
You.
Does the accent go through?
Why
Yeah,
not?
of course.
It's
That's
telepathic.
great. Oh my god, I
You
love it.
you hear her response. Well, it's not without danger, but in need of treasure, you could always try the Cliffs of Fortune, or you could try piracy.
Cliffs of Fortune and or
Try
piracy.
piracy? I'm down. Let's do it. Fuck 'em.
I don't think we got that kind of time.
Listen, Legion always has that kind of time. You guys
Wait.
do.
Does Gaia have that kind of time?
I thought only our 2 ships were like traveling the seas right now anyway.
Not only your 2 ships.
Mainly just those.
Your 2
a lot
ships
of
are
different ships.
some of the
Yeah.
only 2 that could like go without really feeling a need to panic, because you guys can very much hold your own.
We always feel a need to panic anyway, so.
Okay, next one.
Cliffs of Fortune?
Yeah, what is that about?
Go ahead and make a history check if you want to.
May I?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
can.
Anyone who's
Lawless.
proficient, anyone who's proficient with history.
I'm not.
Actually, let me check. I'm not sure if I am.
I'm not.
I'm
I
not
have a
proficient with history. I have a -2.
And I rolled a disadvantage?
Is anyone proficient with history?
Hold on a second.
We are not. Listen, Sammy, we don't pay attention to the past. We look towards the future.
I'm loading slow.
I'm pretty sure you are, Alexios.
I think he is.
Is in the past, and tomorrow is in.
I am not.
No one's history proficient?
No, I didn't take that.
Oh,
I just have a +5 in intelligence.
Then I guess some of you can roll with disadvantage.
I'll take
well,
that.
disadvantage with a -2. Let's fucking go.
Everybody roll with disadvantage, see what happens.
Divination, Honora, Essex. I'm just.
One's a natural. Okay. I got a dirty 20.
Okay.
Sammy, what will a hot 3 get me?
Jack shit.
Well, I'll roll two.
I got an 18.
Okay.
Anastasio!
How are you guys rolling so high with disadvantage? What the
You
fuck?
said with the 3,
Well,
you
I
can
have
get the
+4 in my
fuck out of
intelligence.
I
So-
rolled a 2 and a 1.
So, Alexios and Nora have both heard of the Cliffs of Fortune, and it has something to do with, like, a king and gems or something like that. Alexios, you know a bit more. It's like ancient history, and it's more a Xandarian story, so you're not super familiar with it. But the Cliffs of Fortune are some a cliff near Xandar, also sort of border on the Olympian Mountains, and there was some sort of like peace treaty or alliance where that's where two royal families met, and one brought this like enormous chest of jewels and treasure and valuable things, and it seemed like the peace treaty of the alliance like did not go well. The peace talks did not go well, and by the end of it, the chest had been thrown off the cliffs, and all the treasures lost to the sea and to time. But it's also unclear if that actually happened. What is clear is that treasure hunters have gone like cliff diving there and just diving around there for centuries. The Ashleys, as you call them, the victors, were heading to the Cliffs of Fortune after the Blood Shore, because it is believed that there are still extremely valuable things that are washing up on those shores, and that if you dive, you could find precious gemstones or precious magic items, and that it seems like some days there's nothing there, and some days you could find the largest ruby you've ever seen in your life.
Since it's a Xandarian story, would Honora know anything more about it since they grew up in a Xandarian town?
Not with an 18. I mean, that it has something to do with Emperor Gilro, not the one that's currently here, but like maybe one of the first Emperor Gilros. It's an emperor story. It's a Xandar story.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was checking.
Yeah.
So
That's a ways
I'll
away.
relay that to the rest of the party.
I mean, hey, it's an option, but that's kind of far. None of us have ever been there. We don't even know if it's true or not. We could do all that work to get there.
I mean, we have allies for a reason. We can pick a couple, send them to the cliffs, see if anything pops up, hope they don't die.
You also you currently have 7 castings of Glyph of Warding that you can already pay for, 7.5.
Let's
It's not enough.
see if the King of Sylvan can help us out any.
Okay, he's in the eyes of Gaia.
He's in the eyes of Gaia?
No,
Yeah, he's
Emperor
Xandar's-
Gilro is in the eyes of Gaia.
Because remember,
Sylvan
Sylvan has his own
was-
king.
Yeah,
Sylvan's
remember
part of
There's a
Xandar.
king of Xandar and then a king of Sylvan. And we have
He
a
is,
good
I
relationship
will
with the king
say,
of Sylvan.
yeah,
To be
the King of
safe in his
Sylvan
life.
is very close to the Emperor of Xandar, so it's very possible he's in the eyes of Gaia, but at least that Arcanist Alar Zena Vodel is part of your group.
Yeah, okay,
I
well
would
then
talk to
message
Zinfandel.
him.
Yeah, let's shoot him a message.
Josh, you?
You should definitely shoot him a message. Hey. I don't even know what that says, man.
Hey, yo, got diamonds?
Imagine
The
dragons.
need of diamonds and diamond dust is urgent. Help, please.
You would recognize me, right? If I they automatically know it's me.
Basically,
Am I sending this to the king or the arcanist?
the Arcanist.
Arcanist.
Oh, I thought we were talking to the king. Well,
What if you persuaded the king?
hey, remember me from that one time? You think you want to hand over a bunch of diamonds or what?
I don't think that would go too well, considering he's possibly in the eyes of Gaia, and they don't like us too much.
Yeah, I'll just send it to the arcanist then.
Okay, what do you say?
We're trying to do some glyphs of warding and in need of diamonds, diamond dust, and or places to get them.
Well, that sounds urgent. I don't think the king would be quite happy about that, but in my own personal storage, I could spare perhaps 100 gold's worth.
Castings. That's up to update castings. Now, I will say this. If we take my diamonds for it, I cannot cast Revivify or Greater Restoration. That's all my diamonds.
Probably save some of them because this is gonna be a tough fight. And
Do we want
we might need
Revivify
something.
or Greater Restoration?
Probably say at least revivify in case one of us dies.
Then I only have 100 gold's worth that I can give.
I will
That puts
also
us back down to 7 castings, 6 castings.
I will also remind you, beyond
Trade
the
animals.
glyphs of warding, you also have the mines, you have the Ark of Fate, the Tromokratis, X amount of Athenian navy ships, and the Colossus.
Cannons aren't technically magical, are they?
Correct.
Was Alexios working on anything for that? For the last one? Did we ever bring that up?
I don't think so.
I'm not
I
sure.
think we talked about it in the non-DM chat, and then we never.
All right. Well, okay. We need to figure out something for the cannons.
Would there be any way to make them magical?
Can we shoot spells from the cannons and use them almost like a focus?
Oh my
Maybe
god,
with our
that's so
focus
That's
funny.
not how any of that works.
I
Good
feel like
question.
Shot, man.
There are ways to enchant cannonballs, similar to you can enchant a quiver of arrows to make them magical. You can enchant a stack of cannonballs.
Can
How would
we
you do that?
look into that? Maybe talk to someone at the school for the arcane and see if we could have an individual enchant our cannonballs.
Well, would any of the spellcasters in the party know anything about it?
I do not.
Yeah, Anora, go ahead and make a wisdom check.
I'll take that. I'm good at that.
That is a 16.
16. You know you've been around a lot of druids and rangers before. You know, that you've heard of rangers doing this before with their arrows. It's not a super advanced spell. You know that rangers are also capable of just enchanting a single arrow with abilities, but that most of these spells are very rapid. They would need to be happening in the moment of it getting fired. They can't just rest.
What are some of the spells?
There's a spell called Lightning Arrow, Flame Arrows. There's also Magic Weapon. Magic Weapon is
Some of these.
Magic Weapon just means that you can touch the spell or touch the weapon and it becomes a +1 weapon.
Okay. What about elemental weapon? Is that what it's called?
I have a question.
I don't know what it's called, Sammy. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you're right.
So-
Elemental weapon, absolutely.
Does this mean we would need multiple druids or rangers to enchant the cannonballs right before they are fired?
And it depending on what kind of effect you're going for, it could be other types of casters as well. For for instance, elemental weapon, you would need an artificer or a paladin to cast.
I can also cast it, but that's in the additional druid spell.
Oh yeah, it is also optional for druids and rangers, stuff like that. But yeah, like you would need to plan that out and have some students or whatever specifically placed on those ships during the fight.
So, are we going to place? Because is it only rangers and druids that can do like the main stuff we'd want? And if so, where can we get like 12?
And I will also say that all of these spells are concentration, so each of them can only do it one time.
But once it's been
it would
used, it's
reload
no
and-
longer concentrated. We're no longer concentrating on it.
Right, but like one druid can't do an entire ship's worth. Of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
But I
we
mean,
would
like,
need
I'm a
like at
druid,
least 12, like 6
Got
for each ship.
Triea as well.
Yeah.
Because most needs to be within her range. I can.
No, but Triea is a captain. She's gonna be.
She's gonna be busy.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you're also going to be there as a captain as well.
Are you?
there, but we're gonna be.
That's a great
fighting.
question. What are you guys gonna be doing during this fight?
I think we should figure that out once we have a solid plan and find areas for ourselves after.
But I have-
Like
I have
we're
a
working on a
question.
foundation right now. We're at the top. We should get our bases done first.
I also
Adagio.
have.
Artemis is like the sister of the moon. Are they rangers? Are they druids? Are they like combination?
They're
I was
combo.
gonna say I could
They're
talk
kind
to
of
them
both.
and see, but the thing is, they protect the hunter's tree.
Oh, we don't need all of them.
If we could get 6,
I don't know. I can go
That would
back
be-
and talk to them if you want me to.
that would be fantastic. Like six people, 6 volunteers. Or we can try to pay them something.
I mean,
But
well,
only the 6 because they could run. We have 6 cannons on our ship, 6 cannons on the Tromokratis, 3 people on one side, and then on the other ship, and then they could just run back and forth from side to side if they need to. But it looks like we're only going to be on one side, hopefully. So I think 3 per ship would be more than enough.
I have a question, Sammy.
Yes.
Like, so flame arrows, we could not adapt that over to cannonballs, could we? With help of, like,
Let me see
Alexios.
the specific language of the spells, because like obviously it was designed for arrows, but let me see. You touch a quiver containing arrows or bolts. I will say that I would allow that to be adapted to a stack of cannonballs, which I would say is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cannonballs.
That's almost all the spell anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other question I had is there some spells that like I know for certain things have been attached to it for weapons before?
And, like, is there a way that an artificer can, like, maybe attach these spells without using Glove of Warning?
I mean,
Like, grasping binding, because like, I know there's, like, grasping binding has been applied to arrows before. In some cases, not by us specifically, but
I mean, Alexios is your resident artificer.
is there a way that that can be done? Because, like, I mean, I can do it with Thornwind, but Thornwind was meant to do that.
Right. It's not as easy as just taking a spell and putting it on an item. Generally, that's what the Glyph of Warding spell is for.
Okay. Okay, but I will say for Elemental Weapon, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have it, because we can choose which type of damage to add to it, and the weapon gets a +1 bonus to attack rolls then.
How many? What is it? Paladins or artificers
Or Druids.
or druids? Okay, so if you got the Sisters of the Moon, we could potentially have that as an option.
Now, I will say, does, Tromokratis not take non-magical damage from weapons?
As a legendary creature, I'm kind of assuming better safe than sorry.
If he does, if he doesn't, then we would need to use the spell at higher levels, because you only get 1d4 damage from it at every level. When you get to 5th and 6th level, it's 2d4 damage for whatever it is.
I think
Everything
just as
else
long
is
as
crazy.
they're magical to any extent would be good.
Yeah,
I mean,
generally, you know that
Damage.
creatures of a certain power level, even as long as it's coming from some sort of magical source, it tends to do the trick.
would the bludgeoning damage do something then, since it's coming from a magical source at that point?
If it's magical ammunition or a magical cannon, that would count.
Okay, that's what I was confused about. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can always transport back and talk to them.
Okay. Alright, so that's definitely something we want to do. So we do that. We need to talk.
Okay,
brain fart.
we need to decide on the spells that we're going to use, because right now we have 1,300 gold worth of diamonds. So
I
that
definitely
means
say
6 castings.
slow.
Yeah.
If we can
and
find one more, we can
a
get
mixture
what
between
full
psychic
casting
and
out of
acid.
it. Otherwise, I'm taking that 100 back to use for greater restoration if need be.
Which is a good idea.
Just, we have 1,200.
So 6 castings.
Yeah.
So are we thinking slowed and then a mixture of psychic and acid spells, or just psychic, or what?
I think we should do slowed for 3 of them. And then 3 more do one of each of the other spells that was mentioned. Besides banishment, because we don't know for sure how that'll work. And besides control water, because both me and Ryujin can cast control water.
Wait, so you're saying?
Psychic Lance, Vitriolic Sphere, and Synaptic Static.
Yeah.
Okay, I will also say I can cast Synaptic Static, but I only have 3 spell slots. So.
And I can only cast control water at certain levels, so it runs mine out too.
I can control water too.
Look at it.
So.
Yeah, control water does not need to be on these lists.
Synaptic Static is. And why am I blanking so hard? I know the word, I just can't.
It's force damage, right?
Incapacitation, right?
No, that one is Psychic
That's
Lance.
psychic
Psychic
lance.
Lance. Okay, so Psychic Lance is.
Synaptic Static is the one that subtracts from attacks, ability checks, and concentration
Right.
checks.
And that's only a d6, right?
Yeah, it subtracts the d6.
Okay.
Vitriolic is the one that does initial damage and then more.
So, aside from the slow, we would have how many left?
3.
3.
And
3
then
if we
one
do 3
each.
slow.
What do you guys want to do?
That's what I said.
I
but
mean-
that's
I mean, I think it's good. Yeah.
That works for me.
we just
And
gotta
then
find people who
if
can
we
cast
get
them.
more diamond or diamond powder, we can add more of whatever we decide at that time.
I think we have exhausted all of our avenues.
Yeah.
We might not. We'll find out. We should definitely still try.
I will
Well, if we
say,
go and find a dragon lair, we could maybe find.
I mean, if we go to that before I go to the Sisters of the Moon, you know, I might have that last gem and can just do all of my stuff at once there.
Yeah, we still need to decide what we're doing while all this prep for the battle with Tromokratis is.
I think this is going to take up all of our time.
I will also say this is a perfect opportunity. As you guys have been planning, Theseus comes up to you. He goes, "So, my men are asking, as am I, when are we hoping to do this?"
Well, everything is kind of on a fast track right now. We still need to get funds and material to the once moat Paloma. We need to have the Arcanists cast the glyph of warding that we can afford right now on the natural objects in the ocean without disturbing them to make it look natural. And then, you know, we need to try and get a hold of the Sisters of the Moon if possible, have some volunteers from there, get our ships here. So I'm thinking, I mean, what does everyone else think? I guess maybe weeks? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
talk to
thinking.
Paloma first. And
This is
get her-
fancy timelines, bro. I don't know. Sam, you tell me.
I will also, just to put another thing on the timetable. In 6 weeks, there's God's Sights Day.
What is that?
You would all know God's Sight Day. You know the way the Gaian calendar works. Every 3 years there is a leap month, a 13th month at the end of the year. You know the first day of that 13th month is called God's Sight Day. That is, well, this month is also when the Olympics happen, but you don't think they're probably happening this year. But God's Sight Day is when the gods go to a council of the gods. It is on God's Sight Day where the champions are in charge of the cosmos while the gods go to their conference, essentially.
So when they're like essentially,
you know,
AFK.
it was on a god sight day in the past that Tromokratis sank Nepeot. That was on a god sight day. You know, traditionally Theseus goes to Nepeot on god sight days because of that. You also know the god sight day is a day of, in normal years, a day of celebration and revelry on Gaia as people essentially try to give the gods one last reason to decide to let them live for another year, kind of stuff. It's a holiday. But you also know that Council of the Gods that happens only once every 3 years is where all of the really big judgments and debates happen. It was on a god sight day that the Persephone Compromise was reached. You know, a lot of these major decisions are made on god sight day. But the reason Theseus is bringing it up, of course, is because on god sight day, he's going to be really busy.
So we
Is
need to
Hecate
like
going to be
have
at that
this
conference?
100% she will. It is
before.
required.
So we need to have this essentially done before then. Our
Our timeline is 6 weeks for everything, I feel like.
Yeah, because
I
I
feel
feel
like
like
it's
it's going to be the conference with all of the gods, and they know what's happening, and she's required to be. This needs to be done by then.
Okay. So here's what I think. Right?
Wait, but how
Fast
much
track
time that
this,
needs to be
do
done?
as much as we can before then to get this ready and set up. This will be our top priority. Probably not going to do anything else. We should dedicate all our time towards this until it's done. I mean,
I feel
having
like-
prep, doing all that stuff,
feel
like
like-
all hands on is kind of what the vibe I'm getting.
I feel like this day would be like the perfect time for like something huge to happen. So as much as I also want to focus on this, probably focus on everything else too, in case
Yeah.
Persephone or anyone has something planned for when all the gods are in one place or away from Gaia itself.
I mean, fair, but that's only 6 weeks, and this is a huge thing we're getting ready to do. I mean, if we get it done before then, we have extra time to focus on other stuff.
If we-
100%, I agree.
Well, there's a lot of this we can't do anything with. We can't cast glyph if we tell them where to go.
I know. I'm just saying that like we can still try our best to fast track and help where we can, and just kind of be all hands on deck to get this
But
done as
let's
quickly as
say this does
possible.
take too long. Like, we can still focus on the other things we're going to focus on before. Like, checking out that dragon, attempting to
Yeah.
locate some of the other links. It's not like we have to dedicate full
Right.
time just to this.
I just don't think maybe it's the best idea to go and go on like a scavenger hunt for another thing that we could potentially be away from this for weeks.
I mean, the thing with this
I
though
don't know,
is
we'll
there's
see.
a point where we can't do anything, and we'll just be
I-
sitting here watching them. And
No,
those
I
times we
hear
need
you.
to do something else.
I get that 100%. I understand that. I'm just saying that, we should do what we can here, like as much as we can. And if there's a point where like we literally can't do anything else, then yes, we should focus on, something else to, do. But as of right now, we don't have an accurate time estimate of like what's all going to happen because we have a handful of things to do, and maybe I'm just like
Well, let's message
underestimating.
Paloma, ask how long she's gonna need. We'll message Cassandra and Triea and ask how long it'll take for them to get here, and base it off of that.
Okay.
So, Nagio.
That will be my last two for today, so. That's all I know. Message Paloma first.
Okay.
We are trying to set up a timeline. I'm gonna need how long you think it'll take these things to happen.
Working by myself, it depends how many you need, really. By the end of the week, I could have 3 made for you.
I have
Well, I can't reply to that because I don't have anything else to give
a
her.
question real quick.
Yes.
And a suggestion. If we have everything done and we're waiting on things like the mines, we can fast track everything we can do at the beginning, and we'll still be able to be in contact with everybody, and we have ways to get back if we need to. What if we get this done and do it sometime in like the week before.
Huh?
So we have 6 weeks. So we wait 5 weeks, get all of this done as quickly as possible here, and take care of everything else we need to take care of that we can, because it feels like the 6-week deadline is not just for Tromokratis, and we can't leave these other things undone.
I agree. I think this would work best. And also, if the once mode isn't working with anything, can't Paloma just go to him to help?
I mean, she would need some help to get there quickly.
Oh,
Yeah, we can. I mean, we have the helm, so we can do that for sure. So
Did what I say
I agree with that
make
part.
any sense?
Yeah,
Because
it makes
I one
sense.
of it did.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So in these next 5 weeks, we'll focus on all the other things we had on our list, and then that last week we'll focus purely on fighting Tromokratis before we get ready for the day where the gods will just disappear for like 24 hours.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that has to go on in the background before we can do a big push to prep. Because we have to have all the things ready.
What the heck
Okay,
normally
so-
happens to the sun when Apollo is at this meeting? Because Phaeton refuses to carry the sun, so...
Oh, this is the first year that's happened.
But no, if Apollo's never there to carry the sun across the sky, like, does he just leave it in, like, mid-morning and just say, it's fine enough?
He leaves it in
Phaeton
neutral.
wasn't the champion until this
Just
year.
keeps going.
Oh, that's right. It was, I forgot his name.
Laethus.
Laethus. Would he just carry
Yes,
the sun?
this would be the first time that Phaeton would be faced with that task.
So
Oh, wow.
we have several things prep-wise that we need to try and fast track. Everything with the ships, like all the casting stuff for the glyphs, maybe getting once one Paloma together to work and maybe get stuff done a little quicker, getting resources where they need to go. I know we all know as a group multiple things. I'm just blanking, but I guess we should try and do as much as we can in the time allotted on like a mass scale, not just this.
So we should just tell the king in 5 weeks we'll attack.
And in
And
those
then
5 weeks, we'll
Have everything
take care of
else.
that dragon.
Yeah.
Go to the.
We'll go to the divine battlefield,
We are gonna be exhausted.
and I could wish to find the link of prophecy, but she's a needle in a haystack.
Okay, 5 weeks. We'll tell everybody that, and then I guess we'll
Wait,
try.
who else was I
yeah.
messaging? Was I messaging Cassandra
You already did.
again?
Miss-
I thought no, we were using 2 sendings. We were sending Paloma to see how long those charges were, and Cassandra how long it would take to get to Athens, right? But if
Oh,
we have
right,
5
right.
weeks, they could definitely get to Athens within those 5 weeks,
I
right?
thought it was Cassandra or Traea.
Or both.
Either one.
Well, what I would message Triea because she
Well,
has
they're just-
Nemios that can then message.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, they just let
They
They just let Apples follow.
Apple's Folly, like, what, today or yesterday?
Yeah, who knows?
How far of a trip is that?
It's not
5 weeks.
close. They have to go
Well, it
around
depends
the
on where
Isle
they were
of Ares.
going to, if they're even coming this way.
Yeah, message Triea say to get to Athens in 5 weeks.
Okay, bad.
And have them tell Cassandra.
Sammy, is this how you feel
That
all the
sounds
time?
very
Or just the
true.
amount of shit you gotta keep track of?
Yep.
This is a headache.
Yeah.
Sammy,
Welcome to the
I
end
have
of the
fly
campaign.
Just like that.
Bye.
Alright, Sharia, we've got the plan so far. Let Cassandra know that you guys need to be in Athens and ready within the next 5 weeks. Like, you have to be there. We're attacking in 5 weeks. Be there before.
Yeah, be there in like 4 weeks.
Okay, it's happening. We'll be there as soon as possible. Let's go! And you hear her start to shout to other people as the spell.
Did you tell her to tell Cassandra?
I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
say something to talk to Cassandra.
Okay, my mind blanked over that whole thing because it felt like a bit of a fever dream for the last 5 minutes.
Okay, well, I can no longer cast anything over 2nd level, so I hope you guys are not needing a postman anymore.
Alright, so you guys have made your plans clear. You've figured out a timeline. If you'd like to rest, I'll say you guys can rest if you'd like.
Please,
Oh,
please.
nice.
Adagio,
Oh,
go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
Oh no.
it's funny. I've been rolling 1s and 2s all day. Like, please. I don't know. This is for.
This is your moment of truth.
It's a 12.
12, okay. in your sleep, you receive a vision.
Okay. Wait, my pen.
You are high on a mountaintop. And you see two figures sort of teleport in. One looks extremely familiar to you, the other less so. But you see Archpriest Phaeton and another man in beautiful bronze armor who bears a striking resemblance to Alexios. And you hear Archimiones, "You couldn't get us any closer?" "You are lucky I got us this close, friend. Everything is wonky here, plus it's only respectful. Let's just climb this damn thing and get back to them as quickly as possible. They're still gaining their strength. Yes. Let us see what there is to see and report back." And they begin to rock climb up the mountains. That's all you see.
Was it
Is it mountain?
like Phaeton in his current like form, or like a past Phaeton,
Yes, it is Phaeton in his current form.
like champion
Are they
Phaeton?
climbing Mount Olympus?
Shoes about to go down.
Oh,
We're all
you
gonna
can
die.
agree with myself. I don't know what it means. I'll let Alexios know my private. I don't know what the heck this is supposed to.
Sure. So, in the quote-unquote morning, you guys are fully rested. You can roll new divination dice, roll new,
Ooh, I didn't get to this
woe
one.
and whale. Whale? That's what is it? Woe
Whale.
and wheel. There we go.
You could just say cosmic omen.
What?
right?
You mother.
I mean, woe and wail sounds more intimidating. You
Yeah.
know, they're shocked and then they're screaming, you know what I mean?
Woe and whale are a pair of short swords.
I have never rolled
You
so
should
many
make those,
ones
Sammy.
today. I
You
just
rolled
rolled
Hey, it's
I rolled
powerful to.
two nat ones for my divination. Is what
That's extremely powerful to have in your back pocket.
I used it today.
Yeah.
Can we fight Tromokratis now
Now?
and make him fail saves?
But I will say it's now 2 days, so theoretically this is the day that Vanix and Teclis are supposed to arrive in Delphi.
Okay. So,
Okay, so we have
here's
a
what I'm
max
thinking.
score.
We could go back to Delphi. I could take Paloma to the One Smote. And Honora to Sisters of the Moon, or the
I
Edge of the
take
Forest.
myself to the Sisters of the Moon.
Oh, that's right, because it's not that far, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We can knock those out today. Is there anything else we need to do soon or immediately or today that I might be forgetting about, which I probably am?
No, but if Honora's going to Sisters of the Moon, can I drag Alexios to see our moms in Gildor?
Okay. It's a
So
bit
you want
further.
me to escort you through the forest so that you
I was
don't...
gonna fly over. What do you mean?
There we go. You do have access.
Oh, snap, I forgot you got the Pegasus now.
Go get your dicks cut off, is all I ask.
Yeah,
I
they
might
can't do
have
that
to
in
be
the
on
sky,
Sunday.
right?
Hopefully.
I don't know, can they do that if you're flying over in the sky? Say that's a good question. I don't
If
know.
they're a good enough shot, they can.
Yeah.
Extra long scissors.
I like trail.
I'll tell them not to shoot you down.
Very wide arrowhead.
Ooh. I'm not even a dude and that made me cringe.
Back to Delphi. Sisters of the Moon. Paloma to the One Smoke. That's definitely a name. After that, what order are we doing things? We went to Divine Battlefield first, and then the White Dragon, and then Divine Battlefield. Ugh, I got big ones right now.
I'm gonna need help
Battlefield,
keeping track of
White
what all
Dragon.
we need to do, because
Divine Battlefield, and then White Dragon. And then while we're in Delphi, we can ask Cora / her mom for help in locating entrances, if not to
Okay,
the
so-
Oasis.
I
So
will
we're gonna hold
also.
up.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt Ryujin, but I will also
Go ahead.
add that this would also be an opportunity for you to recruit other demigods for the Tromokratis fight as well.
Yes. Go ahead.
Do we know anyone who's been to Oasis?
No.
No,
The
we
Oasis
know no
is
one.
the Oasis is sort of Athena's version of Fort Valor for Ares, where
Oh,
it's not like if you go there you never come back, but it is an extremely rare thing to go and even rarer thing to come back.
I thought it was a town.
No, the Oasis is Athena's divine throne.
Why are you trying to go here?
The
This
Oasis
is so we
in
can
the
find
divine
the-
battlefield.
Because it's close.
But that's
So,
what Sammy said we would find like one of the entrances. Like they would know. They would know most likely if there was like a permanent entrance or like a recent one. We can jump into the Dragon's Lair too.
So we're holding off on the whiff of wardings until ships are there, until all that is in place way later. How are we going to cough up the coin for that? Should we do that now? Before
I figured
Yeah,
we already
yeah.
gave the money.
I assume
Yeah.
we did.
Okay,
Theseus
so we
will
gave him
definitely
the
ask for that up
spells.
front.
And we gave him the money, so that's taken care of. We still need to get Paloma and Westball together, and then we need to give them resources too, question mark?
Anything you can spare just for supplies and stuff.
Yeah, we can just give them gold. I'm pretty sure they know how to. They can source their own supplies quicker than we'll ever be able to.
Yeah.
Okay. So do that when we're there. When I guess I'm there if anybody's tagging along. Anything else we need to do in Delphi besides have Nora talk to the Sisters of the Moon? Maybe
I mean, I'll
inform
recruit.
Odella what's going on, recruit demigods.
Yeah, it's like if we're gonna spend a day doing some like minor things, then I can go in and recruit other demigods to go to Delphi or to Athens.
I would like to help you with that if possible. We can do that maybe
I think you're
before.
gonna be a little busy.
Teleporting
I
back
mean,
and
it's
forth.
bad.
I'm gonna
Be a
teleport
taxi.
to.
Adopted
I mean,
by
yeah.
I just have to
telephone, Ryujin's a
teleport.
taxi.
I just have to teleport Paloma there, give him some gold, and then come back. It'll take me like 30 minutes, maybe. Hopefully.
I don't know what is time. There is no sun to tell by right now.
You know
Let's
what?
do it together. It's fine. We're all going there anyway. We gotta talk to Cora and all the people.
It's fine. We'll figure it out. I would like to do
But
that for
definitely
the
two of them are
recruitment,
there,
though,
right?
if
When did we
possible.
recruit? Alex and
I say recruit as
Teclis
many
and Vanix?
people.
Vanek
Yeah.
and Teclis. are the ones
Recruit
that are-
everybody.
I like how I used to be the
All
worst
of
one
you
with
come
names,
so we can
and
have
now
this
I'm like,
select in one
on.
In like the big wheel of like the 12. How many demigods are we missing?
You mean in the 13?
13, sure. Yep, that's what I said.
You have all 13 except for Hera.
Oh, that makes sense though.
Dope. Okay, so we're going to Delphi. We have assignments, things to do. I say, let's waste no time and let's go.
Let's go.
All right, you teleporting?
Yes.
All right. You don't need.
How many
need to roll?
uses have you got from today? Like, are you fully charged again?
But we
I
just
only
fell
used
asleep so
one.
late.
It's been 2 days.
Per day, and then it charges 1d3 every day. Or no.
At least one.
D4? Shit.
That was a
it's fine.
D3. I was just making sure we've had enough days for you to have enough.
Yeah.
Now we're good.
All right. So you teleport back to the roof of Sunbrow Manor, headquarters of the Society of the 100 Hands, your old home before the Age of Darkness. I think that's a perfect place to take our intermission. Great first half, guys. Let us. We're gonna take a quick little pee break. Go ahead and get a little refresher, and we will be back so soon with the second half of this episode, The Links of Tartarus. We'll see you soon. And we are back. Welcome back. We're going to jump right back into the story here. So, you guys have just appeared on the roof of your home. What are you doing?
So,
Lots to find Cora first, I suppose. It's
yeah.
like the central nerve of everything.
Yeah, we should probably talk to Cora and then do our individual things, question mark?
yeah.
All
What do
right.
we do?
You find Cora in the war room looking over a map of Greece.
So we'll update her on like what the battle plans for Athens and all that is going on and our current timeline, and how we're gonna, obviously borrow Paloma and the one tunnel. And then if she can contact the other demigods to come here to Delphi, or if any of them are in the area who can like swoop in and like pick up along the way so we can cross to the divine battlefield.
Yes, Vanix and Teclis are here. Is there anyone else that you were hoping to bring with you?
Well, possibly Lathos, obviously.
Lathos is here.
He's always here.
Yeah.
And I don't know the other demigod.
Who I guess is closest.
Well, they're all relatively close. Varies. Some are in town right now.
So wait, we're taking more to the divine battlefield?
No, that's like we wanted to see who we're taking to the Tromokratis.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right now, Dardania and Iasis are both in town.
Are those the twins?
Those are the twins.
Okay.
I mean,
Can we just
definitely
ask
we're just
Cora?
spellcasters, so
We don't really need them here, do we? Can we just like? Well, I guess we could. It works either way. I just felt it. I feel like it's easiest to just ask Cora her opinion and like who should fight was. Just make Sammy do all the work.
Where's the fun in that?
do individual interviews in character.
Let's go.
No, I mean you guys have their stat blocks. You know what they can do.
I think Dardania would help.
Dardania is the sorcerer. Iasis is the monk. Vanix
I
is
feel
the
like
wizard.
I feel like Eric's would be good because he's like a support caster, right?
Yeah, Eric's is a bard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Eric's would be really helpful in the Tromokratis.
I think we should get as many people as we can. Casters definitely, but I mean even like martial classes, melee fighters, could help like defend the ships from like tentacle attacks, stuff like that. Back do some damage, I think. Yeah, like on the decks or like helping out on the ships, I think would be the best spot for them. I think we should try and get as many people as we can. I mean,
If you
If
want to know where everyone is, Arix is currently on a mission in Indola's stand, so he's not terribly far away. Krisa is in Argos, again not terribly far away. Narayan is the one that is significantly far away, who I would also hesitate to pull.
Yeah, I feel like
she could
maybe
stay.
more like a volunteer needed like she, where it's like, how about you reach out to other demigods and let them know how important this is. And we do have a timeline, so it's like they can wrap up whatever they're doing now. It's not like they have to leave now because we're doing it in 5 weeks.
Well, as sort of the fulcrum that this is all based around, you're absolutely welcome to take as many people as you'd like, but do just know that the more you take, the less effective our web of information is.
fair. Hey, just a really quick question. How is Andola stand? How are they doing?
There's not that many of them, so they're fairly easy to keep in control. The new governor there is quite friendly to our cause. Jameson, I believe his name is. But beyond that, I mean, the fairly uneducated farming community.
Nice. No, okay, yeah, cool, awesome, nice.
I mean, to me, I feel like Eric's is definitely going to be one we're wanting. I feel like he'd be really good. And to me, I feel like we'll need ranged too, not just melee, because.
Yeah. No, I was just saying.
I think melee would actually be.
Essentially, I definitely agree. Spellcasters for range would be huge.
I'm thinking we should take Eric's, Nicholas, and Vanix because he can summon stuff.
This is to the Tromokratis fight or to the Divine Battle?
No, Tromokratis.
Okay, I think getting a sorcerer would also be a huge help. But
isn't she a lot of lightning, and isn't he resistant?
That's true. She's got a lot of lightning and thunder in her.
I don't think that she's well equipped for Tromokratis, to be honest.
I mean,
We could bring Krisa too. If
fair,
she's on the ship.
but you know.
I think this is your.
You should also do more, I think, lightning and thunder damage normally anyway, so it'll be. I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, obviously we don't want to pull all of them, but sorcerers, lightning and thunder spells aside, are still really versatile. I mean, with sorcerer points, you can change damage, you can change range for spells, like, you can cast 2 spells in a turn, stuff like that. That's kind of where my mind went. You know, you could cast a lightning bolt and make it acid damage. You know, so they're versatile. It could come in handy because that is something you could do as a sorcerer. You could literally cast lightning bolt and then use sorcerer points to, you know, make the damage, fire or cold or
I will
acid.
say, for the record,
Like
she does not have that option.
Ass. Okay. Oh, there goes my plan.
So now her.
All right. I guess, yeah, we'll see if.
I feel like those 3 will be our best bet.
Those 3.
How many demigods is there again besides us? There's.
What's the question, sorry?
Krisa, Dardania, Eric's, Iasus, Thora, Lathos, Nariana, Teclis, Rhea, Vanix, and Paloma that is not a demigod.
So 10? And then all of us?
I guess definitely, yeah, I mean, bring those 3, and if anybody else wants to volunteer without, like, weakening the web of information, I don't know. I just. Strength in numbers?
So, which of the 3 that you're recruiting for Tromokratis?
Eric's, Teclis, and Vanix.
And Vanix and Telexilus are already with us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Eric's is only 1 town over.
Perfect.
Oh, that's nice. You're gonna put Eric's and Triea in the same fight.
And then Lathos to meet us in Ice Point after we go to the Divine Battlefield.
I will
Can
say
we
he
also
has no
tell
way of
Chris
getting
anything?
there.
Yeah, I was like, we're gonna have to take him.
Okay, well, let's just take him. He's funny.
Are we taking anybody else with to Ice Point, or just us and Lathos? Because Lathos definitely makes sense, but we do
Well, we
want to
still
back
have-
up with that too.
Teclis
Vanix
and
and
Vanix.
Teclis
Yeah,
is technically-
Teclis
Teclis
and Vanix?
and
Okay. Okay. So
Teclis
Teclis
is
and
like your
Vanix
new
at this
friend,
point are
apparently.
like, yeah,
Yep.
are like our main backup force for this, and Lathos is tagging along for the personal connection and information, correct?
Yeah. And he's also really strong, so.
Yeah, fair. I mean, that was just, yeah. Okay. Sounds good to me.
Okay, so.
Okay, so take Paloma to Winslow.
Yes, I will do that. And fuck, I didn't grab anything from the fucking town. Wait.
What?
I'll
Alexis,
remind
do
you
you
that
have anything
all of the
from-
glyphs of warding are going to be made in Athens.
Do you have anything from the tower, Alexios, that I could just use to go there and back without any risk?
And Honora's still going off to.
Like a dagger, or anything associated with the tower that I can just bring right back to you in like 20 minutes?
No?
I mean,
I mean,
a lot of Alexios' tools were made in that
I
tower.
guess.
Give me like a chisel for 20 minutes.
Wouldn't Paloma also have something from over there?
Probably. I mean, all of the guns that you guys have were made in
That's
that
what
tower.
I say. What, aren't you going with Paloma?
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Alright, I'll be back. I guess I'll go find Paloma.
All right, Paloma's upstairs in the forge room.
Alright, Paloma, here's the plan. So we're gonna take, if you're alright with this is what we're doing. Okay, so we're gonna take you to the tower, where once most of you guys can team up and work on the mines and all that together, kind of double the speed of production for all this, because we're on a really kind of a tight schedule to do a lot. Is that cool? Is that good? Make
Sure.
sense?
Yeah.
All
Let me
right.
just grab my papers. She starts like
Yeah,
gathering her
yeah.
things.
Have they, like, talked since she ran away?
You don't know. It's been a year and a half.
Can I see that pistol just for a second? I'll give it right back when we get there. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I just need it as a focus.
She quickly takes all the bullets out of it and gives it to you.
Can I just pretend I pull something up from behind my back and point the pistol right as we teleport, just like a joking way, you know?
She's like, ha, whoa! And then you're going. Great. So you can drop Paloma off and come back, no problem.
Okay. Cool beans. And then if Ilme is still... Wait, I mean, I guess we took care of the recruiting everything, right? So we don't need to focus any extra time on that. So I guess I will just help where I'm needed. I'll tag along with whoever, because I don't have anything that I personally need to do. Oh, actually, I'm going to pray to Poseidon and try to recruit the god of the sea.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to your personal temple and go under the water to the shrine. What do you say to Poseidon?
Okay. So I go underwater and I'm going to take off the eye patch and do all that. And I will basically just... So we've got this plan. We're going to, in at least 5 weeks, try to kill Tromokratis. It would be huge if, we have a good plan in place, but who knows what's going to happen. It would be, I know you're really busy with everything, but even if we could get a little bit of assistance from you, I think that'd be a huge help, and with the plan, Tromokratis will be weakened, and who knows, maybe you could get in the final blow and have another addition to your legacy in the history books. It would also, I think, calm the people of Athens quite a bit. I don't know if you care about that or not, but basically, is there any way you could help?
Go ahead and roll your D100.
Oh, shit. All right, new dice. New dice. Well, not new, but I haven't rolled before. No fucking way. Hold on. What's my modifier?
What is it?
So I rolled a 24, and the gift of God's target is 39.
Okay.
Hell yes. I didn't think that was going to work. Wow.
So. You are transported. Your consciousness is transported somewhere else. You are in an endless sea, but you aren't swimming. You're just standing as if it were a floor, but you can feel the current slowly moving you. And you don't so much hear the voice of your father as you do feel it from inside you. I am proud of you, son. You have already accomplished a great feat. You have regained the horn, and with it, our greatest chance. This is your moment of glory. My presence will be known on that day. But this is your fight, your story. Your kill. You have my blessing.
Is that me? Alright, well, okay. Better than nothing, I suppose. Thank you.
And you get another intelligence bump. No, I'm kidding.
Wow!
Can I go see Fair?
Give me another book.
Whatever.
What, Adagio?
I wanna try to get the other priests to get everyone who used to go to the Sun Temple to start praying again, especially to Hephaestus and Apollo.
Go ahead and just make a persuasion check for me.
And I just where's my 20s?
Alexios? You're
Can
muted.
I help him to give him advantage?
Sure.
He said Hephaestus too, right?
Yes. Definitely. Definitely. That's a +0 because I have no charisma.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god, but it's a 3 and a 20.
Okay,
No.
come
Oh
on.
my
Come on,
god, what a
advantage.
roll!
So you take Theseus' advice from what he was doing in Athens, and the two of you go to all of the major priests in this High Noon district, and you tell them the situation, and that the gods need your prayers. And people come. I mean, this is Apollo's city. If you were ever to find people that want to worship Apollo, it's here in Delphi. And you lead a ceremony in the Sun Center. And you recruit people to pray to Hephaestus as well. There's not as many, because this is Apollo's city, but even the people who just lived in Delphi but never particularly felt a connection toward Apollo, they see you glow, and they see your passion, and they come and they pray. And they pray to Apollo, they pray to Hephaestus. Those who didn't have a connection to a god suddenly find one. And you receive a vision.
Oh.
You see a golden chariot and an unsteady man getting on it.
Ooh.
New form. Let's see if this works. And as your ceremony reaches its close, its climax, your glow seems to brighten, and you hear someone scream. Everyone turns, and there is just a little girl pointing toward the east as the sky begins to lighten. Painfully slowly, the moments before dawn.
Immediately cries.
Yeah, can I just say I was in the crowd, or I was there too after
Sure.
the temple?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do that really loud whistle you do with your pinkies, just to start rallying people and get them going, you know?
Go ahead and make a just a blank charisma check.
No.
That's a nat 1. Actually, no.
Don't ruin my moment.
A 21.
21. You seem to ignite a spark, and soon the entire crowd is roaring and cheering and applauding and rooting for the sun, urging it forward and up and forward and forward and forward. And it seems to go on until finally, at the edge of the horizon, you can see the faintest golden line of the sun.
I want to draw a picture of Apollo in that chariot so I can have it professionally commissioned from memory.
As the sun begins to rise, the moon, the red fades to a pink, and then to a white. And you see, quite unnaturally, the moon shift in the sky toward the sun.
I walk up to just put my hand on both their shoulders and just watch this amazing event happen.
There's not a dry eye in this audience. Some people have fallen to their knees and have begun praying once more. Other people who maybe have left some family members in their homes have run off to get people, to get everyone out on the street. Out, get up. Delphi is awakening for the first time in 18 months. And with it, the rest of the world. As you wait there, as you bask in the warmth, the sun continues to rise. As a new dawn, as the end of the age of darkness, as the sun rises.
Are you just full on like messy crying right now?
Sammy, I almost wish we could end the session right now. That's so
I know it's like
pretty.
way too early to end the session, but it's such a great image.
Oh,
Let's end it anyway. Let's draw it out. Let's go. Send it out.
I want to go around and go to like all of the old like food booths and stuff that probably used to be around here, and try and rouse people and have like a celebration for this. And
I won't even make you roll for that because a celebration is happening around you organically. Whatever this day will be eventually known as, it is a much grander, more miraculous day than the Day of Endless Light. It is a completely new holiday that is starting around you in this moment as the sun returns to the world, and there is not anything that anybody wants to do right now besides fucking party.
all
You'll see
right.
Apollo. You'll see Adagio.
I assume Odella is somewhere within sight.
Oh yeah, no doubt. She is 100% in this crowd.
I'm roping Odella into the group with all of us. We are celebrating together.
Absolutely.
Get Cora, get everybody. All of them. Every single person. Everyone, all the demigods. We're going back to the Sunbrown Man and baby.
Everyone is smiling. Adagio, you feel more powerful than you have ever felt. Because in this moment, you realize not only are you feeling the power of your father, but you are feeling just dregs of the amount of prayer he is receiving right now, as people who hate Apollo, people who have no feelings towards Apollo whatsoever, are finally seeing the sun rise, and everyone on Gaia is praying to Apollo right now.
I cast Fireball.
The entire Delphi is incinerated.
It's like the Sozin's Comet in Avatar.
Sozin's Comet, for sure.
Oh god.
Cast some Eldritch Blast, like some fireworks in the sky.
I don't even know what to do now. Now the sun is here, and I'm just like, let me something. There's something.
Everyone starts tanning.
Yeah, you can spend as much time on this day partying and celebrating. What would you guys like to do next?
Need some constitution rolls.
I make all the reagents in that one. I use them somewhere.
Agent gets hammered.
It's accurate.
So many plates are stolen on this day.
Oh, for sure.
Unless he gets caught.
So I guess we'll probably party until like the night ends, and then
Okay.
Yeah,
So
sunsets again.
I have. All right. So. All right, Sam. I need you to describe. So, all right. Are we going back to the Sunbrown Manor? Are we just like hanging out in the streets with the sun? What's going on?
I'm hanging out.
So essentially, every single outdoor place in Delphi is the center of this party right now. Anywhere you can see the sun is the center of this party.
If Regent sees Dardania, he would like to introduce himself.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. You do see Dardania. She is. You eventually find her on the roof of Sunbrow Manor. She is enjoying the festivities from afar. She's nursing a bottle of wine. This is not her god, but even she can celebrate this. So she's just sort of watching it all from above.
Gee.
You see, she has these distractingly beautiful eyes, electric blue, shining, red coils of hair, purple cloak, golden accents, a golden choker necklace around her neck.
I think he would like, I don't know, go with another bottle of wine and just like introduce himself. Hi. I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting. My name is
I know
Ryujin.
who you are.
Ah,
I am Dardania, daughter of Zeus.
well, pleasure to make your acquaintance. And I guess I don't know. Maybe you just like pop a squat next one, just hang out and watch the sunrise.
Anything in particular you want to talk about?
I don't know.
The
The sun,
sun.
lightning. I don't know. I'd probably just like you just like pick her brain about I don't know, just like life and his fascination with lightning, even though he's the son of Poseidon. Maybe like fanboy a little bit over lightning bolt and I don't know. Just
Go ahead and just make a charisma check.
oh shit. Well, I'm good at that. See what happens. That's gonna be a 17.
17. You guys get along. I mean, she's a little intimidating to get to know. You're not sure if it's the accent, the striking eyes, the beauty, or if it's the Zeus in her. But like, it almost feels like you're talking to royalty a bit, even though she's not royal whatsoever. But she sort of carries herself like a royal. But once you guys are drinking some wine, you're talking, she sort of lets her defenses down a bit. She's never felt a particular connection to Apollo, but this would make a believer out of anyone. And she has no idea where her brother is right now, but she's sure he's somewhere enjoying this in a far more personal way than she is. She is a bit of a loner, or at least an introvert. She prefers this kind of atmosphere as opposed to being down there. And she doesn't know, she worries that sort of natural behavior from her as a daughter of Zeus could read as like pompous, like she's like that she thinks she's better than everyone, but that's not it. She just gets overwhelmed in big crowds. But the way she carries herself, sometimes people think that of her, but she sort of like talks about that kind of stuff.
Okay. I don't know what else to say. I don't know, I feel like I don't know. I think canonically Ryujin fits well into both situations, just because like let's be honest, he's an idiot. He's dumb, and that dumb charismatic attitude is like you fit well into a group, but at the same time you're enjoying yourself, enjoying whatever, so you can just be around a bunch of people, enjoying yourself, or be, with one or two other people in a small group and doing the same thing. So, I don't know, probably just do his best to maybe just be comforting and like reassure, and just maybe crack some jokes, talk about whatever comes to mind. Just hang out, watch the sunrise, and wait for everybody else to get back.
Go ahead and make one last charisma check.
Okay. Oh man, that's really good. I rolled a natural 19, and I have a +5 for a 20.
Okay. So she seems to like your sense of humor, and you're making her comfortable. You even like at one point you encourage her like, look, it's just the two of us up here. You can like really let yourself go, and you both like shoot lightning bolts into the sky to celebrate. She like lets out like a howl of joy, and it's a nice moment. She gets to sort of like come out of her skin a bit.
Nice. Is there any difference between my lightning bolt and hers? Does it look a little bit more powerful?
Yes. I mean, it's not more powerful, but it feels like it is a natural extension of her arm, and it like costs her no energy to just like shoot it out of her. And with you, it's like you can feel the power of electricity. For her, it's as if she's just releasing something. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, Anura is, I think, puking right now. So we can say that Anura went to the Sisters of the Moon. I'll say, wow, I rolled a 6 on a d8. So yeah, you get exactly 6 volunteers.
Oh, hell yeah! This is going well so far.
Yeah.
She has like a ball of sunshine. And Mythos is like the Prince of Darkness. And I just like drag him along as my +1 until he smiles. Like this one will be mine.
Wait, Lathos?
Lathos.
Yeah, it's definitely Lathos.
Whatever.
The literal Prince of Darkness and a ball of sunshine. I'm gonna be like, this one's mine. I claim.
Let's just try to crack jokes until he like laughs.
Like
dance
until he actually like joins us, and I'm like, dude, come on.
It takes about 6 ales, but eventually you see him sort of dancing in his seat a little bit.
It's literally just a waddle, like a patent waddle.
He just really needs to pee.
So sad.
Can't break the seal yet.
Okay, I think we're ready to go then. If we're done celebrating.
Yeah, the sun begins to set. It's a beautiful sunset. Any sunset will be beautiful after 18 months of no sunsets whatsoever.
Sammy, where can we get a group tattoo?
In Delphi? Probably the training ground district somewhere.
Let's fucking go. I'm roping everybody along.
What do you want to get?
A rising sun.
Ooh, where do you want it?
Stamp style.
I think maybe, I don't know. This would be up for
put it on your shoulder like my son.
I mean, I'm down. I was thinking we could all just maybe like get it in different spots or wherever we're comfortable with, or maybe in the same spot if we all agree. I don't know. I just thought it'd be a neat little thing to like mark the new age.
Well, it'll be a gold per tattoo.
Awesome. Can do.
Do I see Lathos coming with us?
You can bring him along if you'd like.
Dragging him along.
I've roped along like every person, every demigod, everyone we know.
Has, like,
you know what?
Tattoos.
Go ahead, Ryujin, make a persuasion check.
Oh, like yeah.
If I don't go to sleep, can I
the persuasion is +9, so 21.
21. Okay, so you convince all the demigods that are in town. So Lathos, Iasis, Dardania, Vanix, Teclis, and Korra all get a Rising Sun tattoo.
Where are we getting
my
this?
ankle? I want it on the ankle, and I feel like
Are you getting them in different spots?
If we all did our ankles, that'd be fun.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, Ilme's down. Go get it on her arm, like there.
Yeah.
That's cute. Where does Korra put hers?
Korra puts hers on her left wrist so that she can always see it.
What about Lathos?
Lathos, he gets a classic like strongman shoulder tat.
Same side as mine or opposite one?
We're all just going last so we can absorb everybody.
Now they can. I'm gonna bump him in that shoulder with my marks and be like, hey. I'm like, forgot that happens.
What about the twins?
Iasis gets it like right around the sternum, which kind of looks kind of cool on him. Dardania asks you for your opinion, Ryujin.
Honestly, I was thinking maybe I don't know. I have like a huge scar on my chest, so I was thinking maybe like my left pec or my left wrist, similar to Korra. I think that was a really cool spot. I'm not sure. What do you think? What do you think would look better?
Well, your left pec is generally not to the common eye. So it depends if it's it for you or is it for everyone else.
I mean, that's fair. It kind of fits the theme though, because I have the eye patch, you know. So I think I'll do the left pec.
All right.
I'll go with that.
She gets hers. You know, like that classic underboob tattoo. That's where she gets hers. Vanix gets theirs on the calf. Teclis gets his back of the neck.
I like this.
Yeah.
Okay, then I think we are ready to go to the divine battlefield.
This is Ryujin's first tattoo. Let's fucking go.
Are we waiting? Are we going now, like at night, or are we waiting for sunrise again?
It's a good question.
Oh shit!
Do
it
you have
just
enough?
mattered again.
Do you have enough charges though? Because we went here.
I mean, I used 2. That's true. We'd have to wait till morning so I can recharge. Well, I mean, I have 1, but I would prefer to have 2
Did you
just in
transport
case.
the Sisters of the Moon though?
Oh, fuck.
Are we
So-
can we just have them on standby? It's not like they're gonna leave the forest in like the next 5 weeks.
I mean, they do have a. How long would it take for them to travel to?
To Athens?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I mean, in normal times, they could theoretically get to Athens in 5 weeks, but it's not normal time, so you're not sure.
Probably 5 weeks.
Okay. When do we think the next time we'd be in Delphi would be? Because then I can just transport them then, or like right before we need to be in Athens, I could swing back here and grab all of them if they want to be in Delphi in 5 or like 4.5 weeks.
We can message
4
them.
weeks, 4.5 weeks. Does that sound good?
Yeah, we can message them to go to Delphi and then just like swoop and pick them up along the way. That one would probably works the best.
They could stay in the Sunbrow Manor. Yeah. As long as they don't cut anybody.
I'll
Yeah,
find
but
them.
so we've used all 3 though, right? Because we went from Athens to Delphi, and then you went back and forth to.
Yeah, so I have to.
Dragonsdoom.
We have to wait for the morning for it to recharge.
Alright, so, Alexios?
Am I- Okay. Yeah, y'all can hear me.
Mhm.
I was muted before.
So I will roll for that really quick, question mark?
Sure, hold on. Alexios, what are you saying?
I was muted when I said I got my tattoo on the right wrist.
Aww.
And, can I get another tattoo?
Sure. For another gold.
Sure. Can I get, like around my left forearm, like those, it's like the vases, the Grecian vases,
Yeah.
the little band, but I want, like, inside the band to be, like, fire.
Dope.
That's it.
It's also the frame around you on stream right now.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Anura, what you missed, A, you were successful with Sisters of the Moon, but B, everyone's getting Rising Sun tattoos if you want one.
Yes.
Sure, why not?
Where are you gonna put it? I put mine on my ankle.
I don't know. Sorry, I'm pretty sure I have food poisoning,
Maybe
so
like an eyebrow tattoo.
Were you just puking off screen?
It's a
yes.
rising brown.
I mean, like, I'm sorry, that's
Okay.
awful. Anyway,
I'm
so-
nothing if not committed.
Yeah. So, you guys can rest for the evening, rest up. Any expended spell slots or any drunkenness you can sleep off. Any
Roll
tattoo
6.
pain.
You
rolled
roll
a what?
3 cards.
Oh, great,
6.
amazing. So, for the first time in a very long time, you wake up with the rising sun.
Yes.
Yes.
Adagio, because we didn't really use them, if you'd like, you can tell me what you used those 2 nat 1s for in that party day.
I'm gonna challenge Lathos to an arm wrestle, and if he loses, he has to go on a date with me. And then I'm send that one in. And
Love it.
then when he tries to hide, that one again.
Great. So you gather Teclis and Vanix. What would you? How are you getting to the Divine Battlefield?
Is there a large tree nearby?
You have never been anywhere near the Divine Battlefield.
I didn't know how close I'd been with the providers.
Yeah, no. I mean, Godsgate is really the only place that's remotely close, and you haven't been there.
Okay. The first place we have to go.
Region, I guess, before it parts ways with Dardania would, I don't know, just kind of like tease a bit, just be like, all right, we're gonna head out before we get to plan. We're gonna be back for a little while. Don't let the city burn while we're gone, okay?
Do our best.
The closest we've been to Godsgate would be Voltura or the Bloodshore.
Voltura would. Well, actually, they're sort of like equidistant, but neither of them are particularly close. Like, you're talking to get from either of those to Godsgate, it's a multi-day journey.
Did you say that I had been close to
Godsgate?
Godsgate, Sammy?
No, you have not been close to Godsgate.
Oh, I thought you said I had. I'm sorry.
So we would.
Closer, Voltura or Andulas? They look like about equal distance, but like terrain-wise, it would be easier.
Bloodshore and Voltura are basically equidistant. With the Bloodshore, you'd have to move around the hills, which would give you some extra time, but Voltura, you'd have to go through the swampland over there, which is not particularly safe. Or you could roll the dice and try to teleport closer.
What's the
I think we
closest
should
I've
go
been?
from the Bloodshore.
The closest you've been is where the party's been. Your provider route didn't go near that area.
What about our 2+1, our 3+1s? Lathos.
Oh, you're taking Lathos on this too?
Yeah, because he's going to Ice Point with us, and we can't get him with us.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was the same trip.
Well, I think we're going to Ice Point after the Divine Battlefield, right?
Yeah.
So Vanix is going there as well.
That's the thing.
All of us, yeah. So Vanix, Teclis, and Lathos are coming with the 5 of us.
Sounds good. Let's see if they've been there. Let's see. This will be Lathos. This will be Teclis. And this will be Vanix.
Can I add to whatever this is?
You can add to one of them.
I'll add to one of them.
Can I add to the other one?
Hold on. And if you need to leave, you can leave.
Fine, I'll be okay.
I can change one of the other. I can change the third one. So
Add a 4 to one of them.
Okay, Lathos actually came... Oh yeah, Alexios?
I'm going to add 5 to another one.
Okay. Lathos is the only one that's been to Godsgate. When he was making his way to Looms, he did pass through Godsgate on his way. So he's been there only briefly, just in passing, but he has been there.
we can try to use him to use the helm. He'd be like our like if he failed. What happens to us if he fails?
You just go like off target to X degree.
Potentially off target, or we teleport into a building and we die. That's why I try not to use it unless I've been somewhere that I'm familiar with or I have something from that place. I will not use the helm to go anywhere we haven't been because there's a fair chance we won't make it.
Well, okay, what if he uses the helm and then we just like gate stuff?
I don't.
If it's safe.
No, we can get as close as possible and voyage the rest of the way.
Okay, then.
I mean,
Wait, then he would have
been there, so he could just teleport there. He's got a good modifier for it.
I will say the only the worst that can happen is that you take 3d10 damage and you end up somewhere you're not supposed to be.
I say
Yeah,
we do it.
That's
fine.
like half my hit points.
Okay. All right. Damn. That's fair. A good amount of health.
It's almost enough Lenora's hit points.
I didn't realize we had Eeyore in the party.
I'm sorry.
So are you giving the helm to Lathos to teleport?
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Wait, alright, I missed something. Hold on.
Talking
What are we
anymore.
doing? I thought we were talking about when we go to Ice Point.
No, to go to Godsgate first.
Oh, has he been there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I totally I was writing in my notebook. Okay, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Okay.
I'll have to attune to it for like an hour, but
Yeah.
that's
So
fine.
you have an
Okay.
hour. You have an hour of wait around, and then he's gonna roll a d100. So this is.
Can I like
Yeah.
help by like giving pointers on like what it feels like and how to focus because I've used it so many times? So like take a help action if possible.
You know what? Because the d100 throw is a little more complicated, but I would say go ahead and roll a d6, and that will be considered added to it as part of the help action.
Okay. I only rolled a 1.
Okay. Let's see what he gets.
No, Sammy. Bad. It's 30 damage, y'all.
Okay. So each of you takes 17 points of force damage.
What happened?
Well,
You got John.
the funny thing is, so you guys take damage, and then I need to re-roll.
I'm fine.
So essentially, that could happen multiple times.
We fall onto a rock. Fuck. You sick. No.
No! Why'd you do this?
I rolled a 5.
Oh my god!
So you're just popping into random places and getting sucked back out.
Is he like panic using it after we fuck up the first time? He's like, oh,
Shit,
I got it.
shit. That's another 24
again.
points of damage.
Oh my god.
24? Golly. How does Honora look? Because
I'm
Honora's gonna
half
pass
health.
out.
I'm half health right now.
So we took the initial 17 and the 24, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not quite half because I had my temporary hit points from the breastplate.
So that's 41 points of damage to everyone.
Oh my god.
Sammy,
What?
I'm almost dead.
Don't
Wait,
tell me,
like-
tell Lathos.
Come on, Lathos.
Slap like those upside
Okay,
down.
I think that one's better.
Fucking
Okay, so you don't.
Wait, was that just 41 in total?
41 in total.
Oh, I thought it was,
So
it was each
third time's
time.
the charm. After just sort of appearing, smacking against a rock, and disappearing 2 times, you all sort of tumble out of this teleportation. Lathos rips off the helmet, like, nope, not for me. No magic, no thank you.
taking it back.
You sort of get your
Aura
bearings.
Vitality and get us back up to full health.
Okay.
Oh,
It's alright.
Did we
First
ask?
time was kind of rough. It's alright.
Cora?
No harm, no foul, right? I mean, there was harm, but we're fine. It's okay.
Did you ask Cora
Did
what?
we ask Cora if she knew of any entrances to the lair?
She's never been here.
She's never been here. I know it was like we asked Cora, her mom, or like Oasis. So are we just trying to get to Oasis at this point? Or are we just wandering around?
I think it's a little bit of both, maybe? To be totally honest.
Yay.
I mean, I assume we have a map, right?
The Divine
There's a
Battlefield
Divine
is
Battlefield?
huge, and it's all the exact same. A map would do you no good.
Then I guess.
Two
Detect
Oasis.
magic the whole
I will
time.
say, the little bit you know about the Divine Battlefield, you know that Mount Olympus is in sort of like the northeast corner. I mean, like the mountain range is basically a circle with Godsgate on the far east side. You know, Olympus is sort of like northeast-ish, and Oasis is like the north end of the Divine Battlefield. But you get your bearings, and you are about a quarter day's walk from Godsgate. You can see it in the distance, but you are not there.
When we get there, I say we set up camp and just take a minute.
Wait, we ordered a vitality back.
Yeah,
to
you guys
full
are back
health,
in
right?
full.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Golly.
Oh my god. Okay. So we get there. Are we gonna be like?
You said a
Are we
day and a
as-
half or half a day?
A quarter of a day.
Oh, quarter. God damn.
Couple hours.
Should we talk to some people around here? We know that this is the cobalt of Tiamat is over this, right? So we know to hide symbols.
You also
Right.
specifically know that this is a branch of the cult of Tiamat that worships Merkaan the Blue.
What's up, the blue?
And that was not one of the ones
The blue
that I...
Guys, it's not like elementally, my girl.
Blue is
Lightning.
And this was one that I didn't infiltrate, right? You said I infiltrated with the green one?
I believe that's correct.
That's what you said. Okay.
But
guys
if I will say,
uh,
if the blues are anything like the greens, then you would know that there's probably like one high-ranking member that's been put in charge of this this town, and lots of thugs and lesser sort of members that maintain order. But that it's also not like, you know, they don't take over the town and then they're the only ones there. Like, there are still normal people there. It's just that they've essentially replaced the government.
Yeah, I'll like let everybody know since I've been in this kind of situation before. And then are we like scouting out to try and figure out if anybody here knows anything? Since
What do
this
they
is
know?
like, I don't
I'd
know.
assume.
Isn't
I
the
just-
dragon here metallic? The one that we're like looking for?
So what you know is that Sorsunth the Brass either still has or had a horde underneath the Divine Battlefield that you believe is where Dragonsdoom might be. But that Sorsunth the Brass is either dead or for some reason has lost contact with her sisters. And so you don't know if she's still there or anything like that. But yes, that is a metallic dragon.
But they would have like their eyes out for it if they're like a cult of whatever dragon.
Yeah.
But it's not like they would. I don't know. I guess we could try. Like, how can we get information out of them?
I mean, if you want, I can do some snooping.
Like,
Which
Like-
the rest of us do then. This is kind of not my area of expertise, so I'll just whoever's
I
taking
feel like
charge.
Nora definitely shouldn't come because, you know, purple tiefling. But me and Ryujin are also really good at disguise kids, and Alexios has disguise self or something, right?
Yeah, but Aurora can turn into an animal. You just be like,
Okay,
I'm
we don't bring
also
it
cast polymorph.
holy shit, you can do what?
Then you can be like a pet raven on like one of our pretend
I've
shoulders.
been able to cast polymorph for a while.
I think I might be. There's polymorph and true polymorph, right?
Yeah, True Polymorph is a much more powerful spell.
That's like dragon shit.
So can we like just like disguise ourselves and then like let Elme like do her thing in town?
Sure.
But like us be like close by just because, you know, squish.
Yeah, I'm gonna use disguise kit, and I would like to take a little bit of time to maybe attune to my cloak of elven kind.
Sure.
I will say, I'm probably not going to go just because I am super recognizable if any of my stuff fails.
We can just you can like not. Well, we still have Lathos and like 2+1s. So if like a giant party of like 9 of us come into town, probably be like, So if anything, some of us could stay outside with our PC tools, and then like Elme and like 1 or 2 other people can like.
I mean, I'm not the stealthiest, but I do have advantage with the cloak and the disguise kit. Hopefully that does something. So
I don't think so.
You guys.
I don't think we need a stealth like getting into the town. It's more of snooping. Like we can just like set up shop in an inn somewhere.
I mean, I can be quite persuasive.
And I have my divination.
Yeah. So
You guys do it?
I say let's head to an inn, and whenever night falls, then me and one other person will kind of sneak around. I guess like I'll station myself at the inn tavern and try and listen in and spend the day figuring out kind of the lay of the land here, and then.
Okay, so as you guys approach the town, Lathos points out something that is different from when he was here last. When you get to the outskirts of the town, the city limits, you see that there is copper fencing. Like, not really a wall, but copper fencing that goes around the city limits that Lathos mentions was not here the last time he was.
I'd like to cast it.
No magic on it. But there's no resistance as you walk into this town, and it is like a scenic, beautiful town. You are right at the edge of the Olympian Mountains. There are mountains on your left and right, and this town is sort of squeezed right in the middle of where the mountains sort of descend onto ground level. It's stunning. As you walk through the main thoroughfare, you do see a rather large population of blue dragonborn, but also other sorts of creatures that aren't necessarily blue dragonborn. You see some elvish people with just like little rough patches of blue scales. You see some that have no blue scales or anything related to them, but they seem to be at least somewhat in charge, or they have a symbol of a blue dragon's head somewhere on their body, that sort of thing. You have no problem finding an inn. It's not terribly busy, but there are people here enjoying drinks, enjoying some good berries. You have no problem finding rooms for the night. And Ilme, you hole up in a booth in the corner with your hood up and just try to listen and eavesdrop. Go ahead and just make an investigation or perception check for me.
What would my passive give me?
A fair amount, actually. That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's fair. So most conversation you hear is fairly mundane. Much of can't believe these shits are taking over the town. What I'd give for an apple, something like that. But also things like, can you believe the sun came back? They said it was never gonna happen. I lost 300 gold on that. I didn't realize the sun was gonna, like that kind of stuff. But there is one conversation that you hone in on. There are 2 dragonborn at a table nearby at some point in the day. And one you see is sort of like covered in a bit of sand. He's like, another day. Nothing. I don't know what the fuck Clondaren's wanting out there, but I don't know. We've used almost everyone at the Adventurers Canteen at this point. There's not many more people that'll go out there with us, but Clondaren seems to think that there's something out there. I don't know. I don't know what they told him, but it seems like whenever he comes out of that damn room, he has some new vigor and some new direction that he wants us to go, but I'll tell you this. I've gone as far into that fucking battlefield as I ever want to go again. Clondaren can suck one, alright? Done. I gotta get this fucking sand off me!
Okay, so now that I have the name, Clondaren? Clondaren. Something like, okay, cool. Can I follow them if they leave?
Yeah, absolutely. They do leave fairly quickly. They head towards what you assume is the governor's manor, or at least was the governor's manor. It now has a large flag of Tiamat draped over it. It is guarded. Are you just gonna eavesdrop on their way, or are you gonna try to get in with them?
I'll probably try and get in with them. Obviously, I'm invisible. And I think I'm going to activate my boots for a speedy escape.
Okay, you got it. So along the way, they continue their talk. They're like, ever since Clondarin came back from that fucking meeting, he's just been different. It's like he's on some sort of mission from Merkaan himself. I don't know. All I know is I'm not in the loop. I don't want to be in the loop, but I'm done doing his fucking busy work. Alright? There's nothing out there but fucking death and disaster. Yeah, it's us, they say to the two guards, who nod and open the gates. Go ahead and make a stealth check with advantage.
23.
Okay, that is enough. You manage to sneak in with them before the gates close behind you. There is a nice sort of like courtyard here, or at least you would think it's nice if the grass were alive, but now it's sort of brown and dead looking. But they make their way to the manor proper. You see as they report to what is probably some sort of commanding officer, who then tells them, yes, I will tell Clondarian about your feelings, and I will get you off of the list for tomorrow's expedition. Thank you. The officer, you see, has these like thick spectacles on his snout, then goes up a hallway. Are you gonna stay with your people or follow him?
Follow him, 100%.
Okay. Make another stealth check with advantage.
Oh, yeah, it was a 20 and a 1, but I got the nat 20.
Nice. Okay. You see he goes to this double door at the end of the hallway, and he... Tick, tick, tick. Sir? Ah. Might I come in? 1 second. Some shuffling. Or the door is open, and you see this very large dragonborn man. He's like a thick guy with a big beer belly, a long, wide snout. You haven't seen many dragonborn with facial hair, but he has this sort of scruff that is sort of out of place. He goes, sir, we just... And reports to him. With your passive perception, you see he's wearing like a robe right now, like he's clearly in like a nightgown type deal. But even still, he has necklaces on and rings on and bracelets on, and he is like very overdone. Fine, I don't need him anymore. I've received another vision. Tomorrow's the day. Get the best men and the best guides. I'll be going with tomorrow. Close the door. As you wish, sir.
Okay. Could I see any at all into the room? While he was...
Yeah, make a perception check.
24.
24. It seems in the fact that he's opening these doors in a particular way, it seems as if he's trying to avoid letting this man see too much into the room, but he's doing it to avoid his gaze, but you're invisible, so you can sort of adjust yourself. You see behind him just like little slivers here and there, but it looks like there is parchment sort of scattered all over the place on the floor. Like, it looks like the writing desk and the bed have been shoved against walls, and there are pieces of parchment and scrolls all over the floor with etchings and markings, and it looks like a jumbled, chaotic mess. But with your perception, it almost, to your eye, looks like a maze of tunnels that are on all these different pieces, almost like it's very Stranger Things, like lots of different pieces of paper coming together to create this sort of maze of tunnels.
Okay. And it's just the one singular room that I can tell.
Yeah, seems like that.
Okay. I think I'm gonna camp out here for a little while and see if this guy ever leaves.
Okay, I will say the invisibility doesn't last forever.
Doesn't?
I don't think so, does it? I think it's like an hour.
You remain invisible until the ring is removed, until you attack or cast a spell, or until you use a bonus action to become visible again.
Man, that's so overpowered. Great.
I know.
Sure.
Maybe it's just like, I'm gonna have to nerf that.
Yeah. I will say he does not come out again. In fact, there's a point where that thinner dragonborn with the spectacles comes and brings a plate of food. It's a bowl with a single goodberry in it, but brings it to his room where he's like answers the door, grabs it, and closes the door once more.
Okay.
You hear outside the door. You just hear the constant scratching of quill on paper.
I think I'm gonna stay here until like listening in. I want to wait to see if maybe he falls asleep.
Okay.
And then sneak into this room.
Okay.
While he's sleeping.
So, you wait. Eventually, after the sun has gone down once more, the scratching slows, stops. You hear the sound of a heavy body resting on a mattress. And eventually you hear the soft snores of a man asleep.
Okay, and I think... Yep, I'm gonna try to get in here.
Alright, the door is locked.
I figured. I will take this lock. I got another nat 20!
Jesus Christ! So, not only do you manage to pick the lock no problem, but you do it completely silently. You have no idea if this man is a heavy sleeper or a light sleeper, but regardless of what kind of sleeper he is, there's no way that he heard that lock get picked.
Okay, and I shall sneak in, and I'm mainly just looking at all his papers that he has.
Okay.
Try to be as quiet as possible.
You
Okay.
go on successfully. The door creaks when you open it.
So, you look at this mess of papers. You see a lot of it is crossed out. A lot of it, there's like question marks. It seems like whatever sort of quote-unquote visions he's been having, they've been chaotic and they've been piecemeal. So he's been trying to put this together, and you can see from like parts that have been ripped or parts that have like paste on them that there have been multiple different attempts to get this orientation correct, and multiple different starting over points. But what you do see is that all of these sort of lines and tunnels all lead to one central chamber that he's circled a bunch of times. A rather large chamber by comparison. It's sort of hard to tell. But there is some writing on a few of the tunnels, all the way at the ends of them. Do you speak Draconic?
No?
Then you do not understand the writing on any of these.
Can I copy it?
On a miniaturized scale, you can try.
Yeah, I just mainly wanted to copy the writing on the tunnels.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
no problem.
so I have that, and hopefully it means locations. I don't know. We're gonna hope. Yeah. Then I want to use my feat, the trait, whatever, the thing I have from Hermes.
Gotcha.
Whatever that thing's called.
You can see the most valuable thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
On him and his jewelry that he was wearing.
Yes. You know the answer before you even activate it, but it's good that you've activated it. On his left middle finger is a ring with a perfectly circular, perfectly clear crystal.
Did I just stumble upon one of the links? Does it feel like, because I've done this before with links in the past.
It certainly
Like I did
certainly feels powerful.
Oh, freaking crap, I need to get out of here! I don't think I can!
I will take it tomorrow. No worries.
Okay, yeah, just writing down the names that are on those tunnels and trying to, like, memorize this map as best as I can.
Go ahead and make an intelligence check. Just straight intelligence. 12. It's a maze. Like it's extremely complicated, and there's so many where like some segments are crossed out and some aren't, but they're like all part of the same tunnel. So you're not sure if that means that the entire tunnel is crossed out or just that section's crossed out. Like it seems like, from what you gather from this, as accurate or inaccurate as this might be, it feels like it was written by a guy for his brain. And that it's not super easy to then decipher.
Okay, but I at least have the names, or the writing.
You have the writing, you have the characters written down.
Okay. Then, I'm heading out of here because I'm afraid that this link knows I'm here.
Okay. Make a stealth check for me.
Not
Not with advantage.
Oh, freaking crap. Okay.
Wait.
With advantage.
Oh, they were the same roll. 24.
24. As you are sneaking out of this room, you glance once more at this ring, and the perfectly clear circular gem is clouded, almost swirling like a crystal ball. But you're able to slowly exit out of the room with no problem.
Okay, I'm booking it out of here. Still stealth. I'm
With
still
your
stealthy.
boots, you're gone.
I'm running back to the inn, and I'm waking everybody up, and I'm like, I found a link.
I called this in our chat. In our chat.
Agent is dead asleep, snoring.
I'm gonna be like, which one? Which one? I want to know.
Which one do you think?
Prophecy.
The one that you want? Yes.
Yes. Where? Now show me where so I can grab it. So I can break the wrist and steal the finger.
I'll explain all that I found and have Nora translate whatever this says.
Then what language doesn't
Right,
it?
because can you speak Draconic? I thought you could for some
Alexios
reason.
does.
I don't know what's
Or just
funny
get
about
Alexios.
Oh,
Not somebody.
Yeah, I can get in front. I think you're thinking of it, alright?
I don't know.
Hecla
fair.
speaks Draconic.
Hey!
Oh,
Someone
beautiful.
speaks Draconic.
I speak Draconic.
Oh, that's way better.
Okay, Alexios.
I speak Draconic as well.
All three.
I'll read it.
It's
Let
alright.
me read it. Read it.
There are multiple different places where there's Draconic writing, so you all sort of take one to translate. Eventually, you get the translation. One of the messages says sealed. One says collapsed. One says couldn't find it. But one is underlined and just says no man.
Okay.
Real quick, do y'all just want to write down the languages I speak for future reference?
We don't know. We couldn't even
Because
write down
it
the
keeps
resistance.
coming up.
We couldn't even write down the resistances for Tromokratis.
And I'll explain that I think that this guy knows or has an inkling of one of the entrances, and he's going tomorrow. And so I'm either thinking Should we follow?
That's what I was gonna say. Like, shouldn't we just like stealthily follow him so he like leads us there? Because if he attacks the metallic, and like we're there to help the metallic, I mean,
Thing is, can we? With
We
that
also
link
have
of
3 other
prophecy?
dragons that could vouch for us if this thing is still sane.
it didn't see us coming. I mean, quote unquote, I don't know.
I don't know if I was stealthy enough because I saw that ring started getting all smoky
Well, it has to
as I was
have.
leaving.
It has to have
We have
some
to follow
sort
this
of
one, right?
range. Wait, Sammy, would I know if I would have to cast detect object or detect locate object, locate person? Those wouldn't work on a lake, would it?
It would be locate object would be
Locate object,
Yeah.
which would like. So if we stayed like a little bit behind, would I be able to we would be able to trail them through like the maze?
I mean, you could try. Locate object would tell you the direction
tells
and,
us,
and
you
where.
know, you could try. It never goes
Well,
well.
no, I mean, like it wouldn't tell you the route they took. It would just tell you that thing is right there, right now. You know.
It's like on the other side of this wall because you took the wrong turn.
Exactly.
I mean, my point still stands. Every time you said that to us, it's never gone well.
I mean,
Listen, we can trail them. We can be stealthy. We have Kai. Nora has a familiar. Like, I'm sure we can figure this out.
or what if we found out like who? Oh, what if we found out who was going with him on like the expedition, and just like disguised ourselves as them?
So, with what this is, you remember how I summoned a Zorn for an elemental before?
Yeah.
Zorns have treasure sense.
Okay.
Could it help with tracking down the horde?
Tremor Sense has a range, and usually that's fairly limited range. You have no idea
I
how
mean, it's
deep
a
this horde is?
66. Within 60 feet, it can determine exactly where treasure and valuable objects are.
Oh, Treasure Sense, not Tremor Sense.
Yeah, treasure sense.
Either way, same deal of like you have no idea how deep this horde is. It could be 60 feet under the ground. It could be miles under the ground.
But
use
the
it to
Zorn can
treasure
also
on that
move
dude.
unimpeded through the ground.
Sure.
So I could, in theory, have the Zorn go around looking for it till it finds it, and then we could just basically...
But you also
This
you have
thing
no
is
sort of like
huge.
psychic connection to that Zorn. You wouldn't be able to like know if it found something.
I mean, it follows my commands, so...
Sure.
But didn't you say you had a range? Or last time, like you had a range, that sword just like.
Bucks off.
I don't know if it's out of range or if I die, because I died last time when it happened.
No, because when we were in the maze with the Minotaur, you were like, if I went downstairs with his Zorn, just like, zerk everything upstairs.
Yeah. And then it basically just went away, didn't it?
I didn't
Just
summon
say-
anything that time.
You were going to.
I was going to, but I never did.
Oh, I think you did. Okay.
I mean, do we want to try and figure out who's going on this?
I feel like that's like a decently good plan. Especially if like people are actively quitting like his like expedition teams and like he needs people and he's desperate. Like we might be able to just like slide in there.
I mean, I can try and go back.
A link of
I mean, I'm
prophecy.
not-
They
I'm
might.
Too recognizable.
I mean the Link bonded with him. They have some sort of relationship, that connection, but we don't know what like the deal is.
I don't know.
So what sounds like the best plan? Following or infiltrating as a false group? The
I like
expedition.
both of them. And if Ilme can like attempt to go back and make a map, maybe we can.
Well, like, can I try and draw from memory what I saw?
Yes.
the map.
Because of your low intelligence check, you aren't confident in what you draw, but it's a start.
Is there
This is when Keen Mind would be very nice.
Sure.
like tracking spells?
Yeah.
One of us would have.
Find the path is one, but doesn't really apply. I mean, there's lots of tracking things that rangers can do and that sort of thing. I mean, like, Techless could hunter's mark someone and know where they are for X amount of time.
But that would
Do you
take
have
like.
to attack
but
the
even
hunter's
then-
mark to hit?
Yeah. Like,
But
it's
if he, like-
not subtle.
He can't like like put it on a pebble and like flick at him, and like deal 1 point of damage.
That's not how Hunter's Mark works.
I don't. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
I couldn't also, in theory, do the same thing, but I have to throw a dagger at somebody to do it.
Lathos goes, I mean, I was only here for like a day last time I was here, but I think a lot of people come to Godsgate to like go on some sort of spiritual quest into the battlefield, sort of like a tourist trap type deal, but because of that, they got like a lot of guides that specifically are like trained to go into the battlefield and like protect people.
We've been trying to figure this out this whole time, thinking about going to Oasis, figure out the best way to get in. And they were just guides for tourists this whole time.
I mean,
those guys
will go like a day's worth into the battlefield and then come right back.
Yeah, but we didn't even know like what was the best way to get in.
But those guys wouldn't guide us to like the layers, would they? They wouldn't know the entrances.
No, but they might be good at tracking.
Yeah.
Good at tracking. Or they've maybe seen where he's been like entering or heading over to. Or he just actually just didn't want to do it anymore. Like rough him up or something and be like, give us info.
Sammy, this is a mainly flat landscape, right?
It's almost crater-esque.
Yeah.
But it is a fairly flat crater.
So
it is just miles and miles of desert.
So in theory, we could literally follow them from a great distance.
But
True.
they would see us too, right?
But you could see them and they could see you.
I could fly above as a desert bird.
But how would you communicate with us?
You gotta work out that sign language.
Well, we'd have to be close enough to see sign language.
I can fly back to you.
Imagine how much time. What if it's like a 3 days journey out there, and then you fly back, and then it's like, okay, let's go hope that like they haven't gotten whatever they've got.
Yeah, just for clarity, to get from Godsgate to the far end of the Divine Battlefield, if there were like a road that you could go on, which there's not, it would take you like 3 weeks to get there. Not including monsters and shit.
But what I'm saying though, like, as if we're following them and you're trailing behind anyway, that's not a 3 days journey for you to get to them, then it's just however far behind you're trailing. And I can just keep up with them from a distance, kind of easier.
We could have, so Nora can be a bird, I could turn invisible and have Kai, and Region can look through Kai's eyes.
But only for a certain distance, right?
No, he can still look through them, right? He just can't communicate with Kai, right?
I will double check with it.
I'm pretty sure the looking through there's a range, but the communicating there's not.
Oh, I thought it was the other one.
I could be wrong.
I don't know.
So what are you guys doing?
I'm being too...
I like the infiltrating one.
But not all of us can make that good of a disguise. We have to look like Dragonborn. Like...
No, he's the dude who's leading it. We're not gonna turn into him.
No, but they're all that.
They're all Dragonborns?
Most of them are, or at least have some sort of connection to dragons. But it's not a requirement.
Most of them.
Paint on some scale. Think some magic.
Like, the only one that has a pretty good chance is Alexios, because he has disguise self.
Well, then he can turn into an actual Dragonborn, and the rest of us can just pretend.
I mean, I can polymorph into one, but...
Yeah, so the range for telepathically communicating with a familiar and looking through its eyes is 100 feet, I think. 100 feet of you.
And then he'd be blind, so I guess one of us will just guide him.
Yeah, during that time I'm deaf and blind. Jesus, damn, what's going on? So sorry.
Okay.
Maybe we can, like... He has to have, like, a map version of this if he's going out there. It's not... I mean, unless he's, like, memorized his like multiple lines of like he has to have some way
Well-
that's guiding him there.
I think he's slightly crazy based off of his notes. Very hectic.
But if he has like a portable map, maybe we can try swiping that, or I don't know.
Only reason why I didn't swipe it is because I didn't want him to be onto anything. Like, thinking that somebody else is here.
But then we'd have like a days or however much time it would take him to notice advantage. Like if he slept for like 8 hours and like we stole it, and then he was like woke up 8 hours later, like we'd be 8 hours ahead. And like fingers crossed doesn't remember.
If you want me to, I can go back. I don't think I locked the door. I never said I did, at least.
Yeah.
Counter proposal: we catch him off guard, put a bag over his head, and interrogate him.
That's the reason we didn't
Interesting
translate one because of
information.
the link.
We are not going to pull a fantasy high and just shoot someone's finger off.
Well,
How do you surprise someone with the link of prophecy?
Well, even the prophecy has to have like some sort of like limitation. Maybe we all like had our own separate like idea on like we had like a time, but each of us had our own plan. Like it wouldn't be able to see like one of us because there were like 8 plans happening at the same time, and one of them would succeed.
then when we
More
get a jump on him,
importantly-
we
We
can
can't
say,
even
I
get
bet you
one
didn't see
plan
that
together,
coming.
much less 8.
Yeah, but we each have our separate plans. Obviously, each of us have different opinions.
We can't get one plan together with all of us, much less 8 of us each get a plan together.
We don't tell each other the plan. We just execute.
I'm saying, like, there's no way we can all plan a plan.
What sounds most likely for success? Following, infiltration, or waterboarding? What?
Oh my god! How do we even get to him?
Dude.
I'm joking.
Because right now,
I
only
mean, I
Elmer would do it.
can't create 10 gallons of water.
I can also
Well,
create
Elmer
water.
could get into
Uh,
the tower room that he's in.
okay.
Like all of us could sneak in there. If we like made a ruckus, like fighting people our way up, you know.
Okay. Listen. The question is obviously whether or not, or how hard we want this fight to be. Like, he has a link. The conflict is inevitable. Right?
Is it?
But if it's outside of the city, and then it'll be him and whoever he brings with him.
I mean,
But if it's in the city, it's like an endless amount of allies.
Can I inspect the copper that's around the city?
What do you want to inspect?
I want to see if I can figure out where it came from or anything like that.
Make an investigation check.
I've got a bad feeling about this, and I really don't want it to be true. 21.
It seems like it's pure copper ore. Probably mined from somewhat nearby. I will remind you that it's a brass dragon that was under here, not a copper dragon.
It
That
still
was-
doesn't make me feel any better considering they had to mine it.
Is mining a thing that they usually do?
I mean, there are mines all over Gaia.
But like Godsgate.
Based on like the composition of it, this is going to be a stretch, I know. Does
I
it?
mean, I'm down for just sneaking with, like, following them.
listen, if
Follow an attack or just like pure follow?
Follow till the town is out of sight, and then possibly attack, depending on how big of a party they have. Because if they're bringing like 20 plus people,
Yeah.
Is there a way we could just infiltrate that group? Like, we
That's
heard you
what I
guys don't have a lot of people. We're looking for work. We heard that there's, like praise Tiamat. I don't know, just like and then we're in with the group. We don't have to be super. I mean, we still have to be sneaky, but if they turn around and look up a little bit, like a half a mile, they're not going to see us because we're with the group, And then
Has to be all of
we're
us.
there. for
Three of us
any
could.
I don't know. I just feel
Three
like
of us
that.
could, and if I went, I could message everyone else to like Gatestone towards us. And just,
It's not like we can gatestone towards you, though. We would have to gatestone directly to you automatically. It's not like we can
Exactly.
get close and follow.
That's what I'm saying. You guys could stay in town and then like pop in if like we either A, get discovered and have to fight, or B, get to where we need to get, and then we decide that we're gonna like ambush or whatever. Because obviously at some point we either have to turn against them or steal what we need to steal from under their noses and like travel back with them.
Yeah, I don't know. That just also leaves us stranded if we all gatestone in.
But it's easier for like 3 of us to infiltrate than like all 8 of us to be like, hey,
I'm not
all
saying
of us
that.
are going.
I'm just
Sammy,
saying
from what I know of the cult of Tiamat, they wouldn't just accept random people that say.
Yes, I mean, like there would certainly be some sort of trial test of loyalty, that sort of thing. And from what you've gathered just today, it feels like this expedition tomorrow is really important, and so they'll be even more protective. They're not going to just let a newcomer on such an important mission.
That's what I thought.
Dragons
So
are naturally protective hoarders, and the cult is very similar to that. They are very protective of their own and untrusting of others.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'll relay that and be like, I don't think we can just be random people off the street coming in.
But then
That's not gonna work.
Then we take out 3 of the people that are supposed to be in the group and pretend to be them. I don't know. I just feel like trying to sneak behind them is like, especially since it's such a wide open area, not the best idea. I don't know. I'm not sure what the right move is here, to be honest.
Just playing Hades' advocate here. If we kill him tonight, we have the map.
Or if Ilme can sneak in, can't we just gatestone into a boop and then like stab by jump?
Gatestone into his room and just murder him, please.
Just murder.
Yeah.
Listen, Honora's never down for murder, but Anna's down for murder right now.
Ryujin, you have that fancy, I don't know, trident. You can use that on him.
Okay, stab.
Stab.
I mean,
Ryujin, you're muted, dude.
Okay. So
I will just mention that the map in this guy's room has no scale involved. It has no landmarks involved. It alone is probably not all you need.
But so like even then though if there's no scale involved, if we can orient ourselves within it.
can we charm this individual to maybe draw us an accurate map and
I
then
could catch Charm Person with Thornton.
Okay. But Charm Person only lasts like a minute, doesn't it?
Give us something.
Can anyone cast Circle of Truth?
Zone of Truth?
Zone of
We
Truth?
gatestone in and then we take the other gatestone back to Delphi and trap them in the Circle of Truth.
We Zone of Truth, Charm, so we know they're honest to draw an accurate map, and then we gank them.
I don't know. I feel like the best bet is still just to follow. I mean, I have the sending stone that's linked. Honora has a sending stone. I can turn invisible. I can take Kai with me.
But Kai can't communicate after a certain time.
That's why you're
Stone.
Yeah, but it just means that I have somebody else with me. And like even like Honora can hand the sending stone to like Adagio or something, and Honora can turn into a bird and fly up above too. It's just and I'll have like one of the gate stones, but I feel like our best bet is to follow. I don't think we'll have good chances infiltrating because these people are very protective, and I feel like it'll be very hard to get in, especially with very little knowledge. Like, we haven't really gathered that much on these people to be able to be them You know?
That's fair. What if Kenarang is here?
That'd be awesome. Kenarang
Yeah.
is this guy in charge of
Oh.
all this.
Oh my gosh. That would have been cool. Yeah, like, it takes time to be able to just, like, copy somebody. You can't just do it on a whim.
Okay, then I guess you guys sneak and Alexios, Lathos, myself, and Adagio will just wait here.
Or are we trailing too?
I mean, we have the gate stone, and I can sneak, and I have the sending stone.
Can we hide the gate
But what if
stone
the
somewhere
prophecy
here when the second
see?
sets?
What'd you say, Noshi?
What if the prophecy link, like one already knows you're here because you're in the room, and two is like tracking you and like specifically knows you was following them, and just leads you into like a trap or something, and then you just be gate setting us all into a trap.
No, I can gate stone to you guys too.
Well, that's true, I guess.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, but then we lose them again, and they would get Dragonsdoom.
Yeah, but if I was following them, I know the way.
Yeah. I
know the way.
Yeah, I hope you remember it.
I know the way.
All right, whatever plan I guess we formulate to sneak, I will go along with. I'm out of my depth here, not sure what to do. I don't really have anything helpful to add, so I'm just here.
To me, I think that's our best bet.
That's what Elmi thinks. I mean, they're the best at sneaking and following and infiltrating, so we might as well try it.
Cool. That's what we'll do then.
All right. Well, it's the middle of the night, so.
How long can Laura animal shape?
6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. So you guys can catch a few more hours of sleep. You awake with the sun on a new day, on a day of adventure. What are you guys doing?
I'm turning invisible, taking Kai with me, and I'll be waiting for the party that I know is coming through, and following at a pretty good distance.
I'll take the sending stone from Honora.
Yeah, and I have a sending stone and a gate stone.
You
I'm
wake up a
looking through
bit.
wild chicks currently.
Yeah, you wake up a bit early, just to make sure. Who knows if they're gonna be leaving at first light or something like that. And you go and just sort of hole up near the governor's manor, and eventually you do see a small entourage come out of that manor, including the portly dragonborn with the ring. It looks like he has currently about 5 people with him. One looks like a mage of some sort. There are 3 that have weaponry of various types, that sort of thing. But they make their way out of the manor and toward the point where the mountains meet, right at the edge of the town. And you can see, as you follow from a safe distance, the point where they actually reach ground level is fairly narrow. And it's completely blocked off by a singular building. And you see across it, it says, the Adventurer's Canteen. There are another 5 people outside waiting that they meet up with. So it is now him and an entourage of 10. And they all go into this building.
Is there
We have 6, they have 10.
Sorry.
Is there a
have more than
window?
6. You
It's
have
not
8.
so.
We have 8, sorry.
Is there windows around this building?
Yes. Go ahead and make a perception check.
What was that?
21.
21. Looking through the window, you see the portly man who you assume to be Klondarian shakes the hand of what looks like the shop owner. And you see the shelves, they look like they have adventuring supplies and that sort of thing. There are some like rates listed on the side. He shakes the hand of the store owner, who is another blue dragonborn, and you see he the shop owner talks to one in the entourage who was one of them that they met at this shop. He's elvish with patches of blue scales. They all just seem to have a quick banter before the shop owner opens the back door, and the entire entourage of 10 plus 1, so 11, walk through the back doors, and you can see beyond just desert before the doors close again, and the shop owner just continues getting ready to open the day.
What would be a good bird for the desert? Like a vulture or something like that, I guess?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna, like, hurry back to the rest of them and tell them I need a distraction at this building. I need you guys to go in and say you want to explore so I can get through.
I'm gonna go ahead and as a vulture keep following them now that they're through.
Oh, you're there?
I mean,
I was supposed to follow them as well as a bird.
Yeah, I was just trying to decide. I didn't know what a desert bird was. I was trying
Do
to
you
ask.
want us to be a distraction? Like, try to have them let us through, essentially?
Yeah, so that I can get through without, like, being suspicious. So we need to hurry. Go, come on, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
The rest of you go. What are you doing?
I'm covering my marks.
We should, like, can we, on the go, can I use the disguise kit to make myself look, like, just really scruffy and dirty and,
Sure.
you know, just, like, a piece of work, not anything like you just...
Probably already
I'll
looks fucking dirty.
I'll have my hood up and just kind of look like a roguish type, maybe? I don't know.
All right.
I just stopped. That's offensive.
I'll do the same just so my blonde hair isn't recognizable.
Sure.
And my mic, obviously.
You guys enter the adventurer's canteen, and you see the shop owner looks up and says, "Ah! Tourists, adventurers, you're new in town. How can I help?"
Oh, listen here, right? We're here for adventure.
All right. He doesn't even let you finish. He just goes and brings out. He looks and counts all of you, and then he brings out that many pieces of paper. He's like, "All right, are you interested in a short day trip, an overnighter, or are you looking for glory?"
Oh, I think we're looking for glory, right?
Glory.
All right, will you sign these waivers, please?
What does it say?
The
Don't even
waivers
read it, I
essentially
just
say,
saw
like,
it.
the adventurer's canteen is not responsible for any harm that may befall you in the divine battlefield, blah, blah, blah. As you guys are looking over, it goes, "Now, do any of you rely on divine magic?"
Yeah.
All right, well, take care of your friend, because it's not going to work in there.
What? What? What?
So my magic still works though, right?
That's
And so does
magic.
mine. Mine's
So I'm
arcane,
good.
right?
Yeah.
I am a level 5 barbarian.
Yeah, for you just a warlock.
He was always just a warlock.
Yeah.
Does his magic work since he
It's
got it
arcane.
from Poseidon and
Yeah,
divine
but it's
Magic is
source?
arcane
arcane.
magic. It's arcane magic.
Okay, I was thinking
Mhm.
maybe since it was divine, he
Nah,
wouldn't.
divine magic is only for clerics and
Clerics and
paladins,
paladins.
that sort of thing.
Oh, well, poor Dagio.
Good thing I have the settings.
So, yeah.
Alright, no more messaging for me.
Right, and we'll be needing a guide. We've only have a few left. Most of them have been taken by the
Yeah,
cult.
we're the rough and
We
tough.
find our own way, thank you very much.
Ah,
We highly recommend taking a guide.
I took a griffin down with this left
We're
fork over
fine.
here.
We can do it.
Okay. You all sign?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Can I sign it like Charles the Charlesworth?
Sure.
Barquad Bigglesworth.
He collects all the papers. He's like, Okay, and will you be needing any desert supplies? We have canteens of water, we have other sorts of adventuring things. Anything that you'd like to drop off as well. Anything that you don't want to weigh you down in there.
Yeah, nah, we good, mate.
Okay, you get from his entire thing that he's seen so many people sign up for glory and never come back because they all fucking die in the battlefield. And he's just like, okay. So,
That's the vibe I'm going for.
he says, and one last thing, it's gonna be 5 gold for entry for each of you.
Right, it's bullshit, man, but alright, here you go.
Alright.
Coffee, that much
Out of
bullshit.
business, I guess.
5 gold,
So
yeah.
that is
Wait, I'm gonna
30
try and
gold
haggle.
total?
I'm
That's
gonna
only 6 gold.
haggle.
You're gonna haggle?
I'm gonna haggle.
What are you gonna say?
Alright, listen. We're going for glory, alright? So here's the deal, okay? When we come back with all this treasure, I'll give you 7 gold. If I give you 3 gold now.
Can I take out my
Yes.
fire and charm person him? The fire one?
Okay. What's the DC on that?
Is
Yeah,
it my DC? I think it's my DC.
Beautiful too, and
And
just like
and my divination for the day is a nat 1, so he can go ahead and fail for me real
Okay.
quick.
almost
He
to
is
save
charmed
2
by you.
gold.
How about, between the two of us, since we're such good friends and all, we bring that down to bring you back something nice and here a couple golds to, turn your head.
I really shouldn't.
I know, but come on. How often do I come to town?
Alright, you got me in a good mood,
I always do.
but I expect a solid chunk of something when you come back, alright?
Alright.
Solid
Hey,
chunk
you
of
know
plate.
those people who passed by before? They seem like a rowdy bunch. Where were they heading off?
Fuck if I know, they don't pay me nearly enough for that shit.
God,
Yeah, it's alright, we don't actually
Ah,
care.
yeah, well,
Let's get out of
we're heading
here.
off to glory, so I'll see you when we come back.
May the gods be with you.
And with you.
And he opens the doors to the great beyond.
I grew up
we
in a
were in a
Methodist
tavern or
church.
something, right, beforehand?
What?
We were like where were we before? Where did we stay the night? In a tavern?
Yeah.
Okay, so I totally forgot to ask you all this. Am I leaving the gate stone in the tavern? So we're just making this opening for Ilme, then we can go right back to it, or
I thought it was just to get to each
Just
other.
pick a bed sheet and you can use the helm to get back.
that's actually a really good idea. Okay,
It's
yeah,
okay.
sure. I'll take a pillowcase or something, or
Sure.
a bed sheet. Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Oh my god.
Alright.
I like how you're so surprised I had a good idea. Damn.
Ilme, I assume you're sneaking in with them?
Yes, and then I am looking with my spyglass, trying to find these people.
Look
Okay.
for Honora. Honora's following.
Go ahead and make a perception check with advantage, Ilme.
Wait, what are we gonna do now?
What do you guys think about my accent? Was it okay? I tried to fool him.
It was great. I loved it.
Sick.
30.
30. Okay, so you all are now... You've stepped into the sands of the divine battlefield. Adagio, as you cross this border, you immediately feel yourself weaken.
Oh, great. I just
Right
saw
after you
something.
just-
The war that happened here, the Celestial v Celestial War, caused so much damage to the Earth that it fried the celestial energy from the air around this space.
Now you get
So-
to experience why I felt Mandela's, or not, and
Big up that shore.
Ilme, it's not hard to see them with your spyglass. They were only a few minutes ahead of you to begin with. And this is an extremely flat environment. The only thing that's corrupting your view of them is the heat waves coming off of the desert sand and winds and sand that make it a little bit hard to see. But you do see a large mass of figures walking essentially what is straight ahead.
Okay, I'll turn to them invisibly, but just say I'm gonna follow them. You guys look like you're I don't know, just don't try to be obvious. Stay back, kind of look as if you're exploring, and or just make a camp somewhere nearby, and I'll get back to you.
Aren't Teclis and Vanix with us and Lathos?
Yeah.
Yeah, they all came too.
Okay, I just making sure.
Okay, I'll send a message if I figure out where they're going.
Okay. If
So Kai with you, and we'll
Yes.
camp
you send
nearby.
like a message every like.
I can't. It's
Nice.
once a day.
Yeah, exactly. Every night, so it recharges in the morning. So you're like, we know that you're safe. It's not like 4 days where we're just like, I wonder if Elmay's like dead.
If it takes multiple days, sure.
This is very random. I just to say with you saying and the gods be with you as well. I grew up in a Methodist church, and you said that, and I immediately almost went, and also with you.
Okay.
I hate
That means
myself
nothing to me. I was
sometimes.
raised Jewish.
I was Catholic.
There's this thing
You guys
in
were
communion.
raised.
There's this thing in communion whenever you're doing it. It's like you.
All right, no
it's like
more,
the
no
Great
more real
Thanksgiving.
religion in this shit. Only Greek religion, and not
Hell,
Greek
I can't
Christianity
focus
either. Okay, so Ilmay, you begin to follow. Anura is following from the air as you traverse the divine battlefield. The rest of you guys, how far are you going into the divine battlefield before you just sort of chill out?
I don't think we go too far, right?
Far enough that this shopkeep doesn't poke his head out and be like, hey, where's my goat?
Hey, scram!
Yeah. So maybe like a mile.
Sure.
You know, I don't know.
Sure.
Not very long.
You walk for like 15 minutes, and then you just sort of chill.
I don't
As
like
you
it
are
here.
now in this bowl surrounded by tall mountains that touch the sky.
Are there any cacti, Sammy?
There is nothing.
Cactus juice.
Nothing
Yeah,
to
well,
grow here.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This blocks my divine magic. Would it block feats given to me by Apollo?
If they rely on divine magic to happen.
Like my healing, my automatic healing.
Oh, yes, it absolutely blocks that.
God darn it. I love that one.
Celestial energy cannot penetrate this air.
Or
You've survived without it
Oh
for
my
so
God.
long.
no more divination magic?
That was not given to you by your god, it was given to you by the
Actually-
fates.
Ooh, best say less. Okay, I got you.
Adagio, what if you could rate your strength on a scale of 1 to 20? What is your
I'd
natural
probably still be able to kick your ass.
No, just tell me what it is. Shut up.
What do you mean?
What is it?
A 5? A 5?
No, not your modifier, just your score.
My
He
what?
doesn't mean your level, your strength score.
My strength score? Let me scroll through this. Oh my god, my strength score is a 16. And then I have the Stone of Ares.
What does that do?
It adds like a +2, so it becomes like an 18.
But would that work?
So
Is it divine?
I
am
guess I'm
going
a 16.
I'm gonna hand the gauntlets of ogre strength to Adagio to use while you are unable to use divine magic. So
Is this one of those cap at 20? Or is it just like automatic?
This
20%?
is it automatically here. I'll just
Yeah, it's a
gauntlets
really,
of
actually
ogre
really
power.
great
Your
item to
strength
have.
score is 19 while you wear these gauntlets, so it's just 19 plus whatever you have. They have no effect on you if your strength score is 19 or higher without them. So that's just your basic strength score with no like bonuses yet. It'll make that a 19. So instead of 16, it'll be a 19 for you.
Do I have to change this?
Yes.
Oh. Can I use Rebirth?
Yes. It is celestial made, but it's an arcane magic weapon.
So underbrush is also good then. Good to know.
Yes. The only items that I would say don't work would be godstones.
Fuck.
What did I do to you, Sammy? What did I? What did your cleric do?
There was a town where arcane magic didn't work. Now there's a town where cleric magic doesn't work.
And we
Well,
got
just
the
go to
nature
Ice
one.
Point and natural magic doesn't
If
work.
we go to Ice Point and natural magic doesn't work, how am I supposed to get a
But it
fucking
does.
gem from there?
It
That's
does
the
cap at
question.
19. You see, my strength just goes up to 19. Which I guess, whatever, it helps. It helps. That's okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a +3 for you though?
+4.
I was at a +3 already.
Now it's +4.
Well, I mean, it's a little boost. It'll help with
Yeah,
like
it's
your
a little
attack
boost.
damage, right?
Yeah.
I-
All right.
Okay, well, I'll rely on my rages. Boom, boom.
So, Ilmay and Anura,
Dang, that's
you
bad.
guys are watching this group, and they are moving weirdly. In the sense that they'll be moving straight forward, and then they'll make like a sharp right turn, and they'll go for a bit, and then they'll curve this way, they'll curve that way. They seem to be going in extremely random places, avoiding random places, going toward random places. They're easy to follow, but they're not easy to understand why they're moving the way they are. To the point where, like, Ilmay is actually a little bit challenging to keep your distance from them because they're going in such a weird way that, like, you could just walk straight and catch up with them really quickly, but you're trying actively not to.
If you go serpentine, they can't catch you.
So, I guess my question for you, Ilmay, is every twist and turn they take, are you following them essentially like step for step when you get to those points, or are you just sort of like seeing their general direction and taking your time to get there?
I think I'll probably step for step, because if they're making this weird way, I feel like you have to like go a certain like serpentine pattern through here to try and access whatever they're doing.
Okay,
I don't want to miss out on anything.
sure. Anura, go ahead and make a perception check with the vulture's eyes.
Oh, that's advantage. I think it's the vulture that gets advantage on that. Find out. Pull it back up. Sorry, it just disappeared. The perception.
Yes.
Okay, and the vulture has advantage on perception checks that rely on sight.
Sure.
But I had advantage. The first one was a nat 1. Oh god, I have to do math. 23.
23. As you're watching this large group and the single person further away, something catches your eye. It almost seems like a little bit of the sand shifts and then stills. And then a little further shifts and stills. As if little bumps are slowly approaching the group and Ilmay.
Is it close? How close is it to Ilmay?
At this point, maybe like 100 feet away?
Is it 100 feet?
Yes.
Sammy,
With-
did you get inspiration for this from Dune?
No, I haven't actually seen it.
With a 50-foot fly speed, could I get to Ilmay in time to, like, get her attention and warn her?
I thought
Sure.
Ilmay was invisible.
Okay, I'm gonna fly down very quickly, get Ilmay's attention, and
Yeah, wait a sec. I'm invisible. They can't.
Oh,
can't see
sorry,
me.
I didn't realize you were invisible.
I can do it off of smell too.
But you're way too far away to even know where Ilmay is.
Footprints? Footprints
Well,
in the
like I know
sand?
she's following them, so like, can I get close enough to like see if I can figure out where she is based on smell?
I'm gonna say hard no on that, but you can see that it's about 100 feet. It's about 150 feet away from the large group.
I get
What about
advantage
indentations
on
for
smell
footsteps in the
checks
sand?
though.
Right, but you're so far away, and this desert is huge. She could be following from anywhere.
Okay, that's fair.
So if I'm invisible, I mean, I was like stealthing. I don't know if these things are gonna be able. And will they actually see me?
Would your passive perception probably pick these up?
I don't know. My passive is
When they
26.
get closer.
Can Ilmay see? Ilmay can see me though, right?
Yeah.
I look up. Yeah.
I'm gonna, like, wherever I'm at in midair, I'm gonna stop and I wanna circle above where I see the bumps at to get her
Ilme,
attention.
you see Anura do this, and you sort of follow, and you also see just the faintest. It almost looks like the sand is breathing. Just a very quick bloop. At this point, maybe 75 feet away from you.
And if I stop, is it coming closer?
You wait. 60 feet. Bloop, bloop.
Shoot.
Still these motherfuckers.
I'm gonna keep following. I might get a little closer to that group.
Sure.
See if I can just like hide.
I'm gonna go back to following them from above.
Ilme, as you see about 50 feet away, one bloop bloop, your eye catches 30 feet away, other side of you. Bloop bloop.
Oh, frick. I'm activating my boots and I am booking it out of here.
Booking it toward the group or away?
Away, and I'm relying on Anora.
Okay. You fire off. Anura, you see the bloop bloops cease. And then you see something interesting happen.
Oh God, Sammy.
Things happen in really quick succession. But you are confident of the order in which things happened. You see Clondarin. He's really easy to spot because he's much larger than the other guys. Clondarin stops in his tracks and very quickly grabs the mage, the elf with the blue scales, and tackles him to the ground. Right where the elf was standing, you see this enormous hand reaching from the ground, grabbing at nothing where the elf just was, before slamming back into the ground. The entire party scatters as they begin preparing for battle, as this enormous creature, this giant, comes crawling out of the ground as two more pairs of hands. And you see, as all these men are starting to fight these hands, what is most miraculous to you is that every single time one of these hands comes out of the ground, Clondarin just dodges, as if he seems to know where the hands are about to come out before they emerge.
While he's doing this, can I fly slightly closer and I'm almost gonna dive bomb him and try to take something off his finger?
What are you doing?
I'm just gonna keep watching. I'm not gonna do that. I'm by myself, so.
Okay. You watch. These giants are unlike giants you've seen before. They're certainly a different type. Something that might even be exclusive to this area with this specific mix of power and energy. You see they are enormous, much larger than giants that you've seen before, and it looks like their body is made of almost a starry sky, similar to your starry patch on your arm. It looks like they are partially made of some sort of celestial energy, but they are very clearly giants, and they are strong. And you can see the mage is firing spells at them, and the spells just seem to bounce off this celestial body, and it's intense. What you do see is that of this entourage, they all seem to have a very different skill set from each other. They're a fairly balanced adventuring party. What you don't see is any skills that Clondarin has, besides his ability to dodge and that sort of thing. He doesn't seem to have any sort of formal training or anything like that. By the end of the fight, all 3 giants lay dead. 1 of the entourage is dead, but the rest are fine.
So now we would be 9v8 if we took them on.
10v8 including Clondarin.
I thought they had...
He has an entourage of 10, he's number 11.
Oh.
Yeah. But now it's an entourage of 9, he's number 10.
I don't like that. I'm gonna keep following and make sure I'm high enough in the sky where I can still see them, but Ilme can also, like, try and find me.
Ilme, how far are you running away before you do something?
I'm running until I notice that those things are not following me.
Okay. It doesn't take very long. As soon as the attack starts, you can hear it happening, and you can look around and see that the party in the distance are clearly fighting whatever it was that was following you.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna wait until it's all done, and then start back up again.
Okay. Eventually, Anura, and later Ilme, this winding path they're taking through just open air leads them towards the edge of the Divine Battlefield, toward the base of this ring of Olympian mountains. And they just sort of travel along this edge for a while. The sun begins to set as they are still traveling. Until Clondarin raises his hand and signals ahead. And Anura, you see the thinnest of cracks in the mountains from the top that then sort of expands as it gets closer to the ground, and what looks like the entrance to some sort of cave. And it is outside of this cave that the party begins to camp for the night.
Okay, so if I see them camping, I'm gonna stay my distance until things are settled, and I'm gonna sneak in closer to be able to hear them talk.
Okay.
Before Ilme gets close enough to do that, once they start to camp, while she's still waiting, I want to fly down, turn back to Anura.
I'm invisible. You do not know where I'm at.
You made this really hard to communicate with you. Can I start flying around closer to the ground, just in like a general area where you can see the camp still, and try and find her?
Ilme has Kai.
Yeah, Kai's with me.
You can
Kai's
send Kai
invisible,
to-
though.
Kai is also
Yeah, but you can
invisible.
send Kai to Anora.
It's true.
You
Yeah.
can send Kai to come find me to bring you
Yeah.
to.
I can send Kai, oh yeah, if you're going to land, if I'm watching Anora and they land, then I'll go follow them, still invisible, and I will stay invisible, but I still talk. So.
Sure.
I'm gonna just scratch my notes in the sand for now until I turn back, just so I can make sure I'm distance away. I'm just gonna put going a little bit farther, or I'm just gonna draw an arrow where I'm going and put call party to camp.
So I'll say this: you want to use the gate stone for the party to come here? Shake your head, yes or no. Okay.
Well, that was a bad idea.
I mean,
Shaking your head while nauseous is a bad idea.
oh. Okay. I'm gonna walk. So they're up against the wall of this.
Yeah, they're up against the mountain base, essentially.
Are there any outcroppings of rocks?
Ish, yeah. I mean, it's not like a smooth rock face. It does have natural contour and stuff to it.
Okay, because I want to try and find a spot that's not easily visible
Sure.
for them to see.
Yeah, I'll say there's a spot maybe 150 feet away from them, that due to the angle of the mountain and that sort of thing, you can sort of have a nook that faces the other way that they couldn't really see.
Okay. I'm gonna just pop squat here and use the sending stone and say they have made camp along the edge. Do you guys want to follow? Or come here?
And then I assume it came to me. I mean, it could have gone to
Yeah,
you, or
sure.
friend. Either one. I just wanted to talk about it, like, if we wanted to, like, start walking over, or if we wanted to, like, gate stone over there. Because if we gate stone, then we pretty much,
I totally meant Gatestone.
Oh, I thought you meant, like, did you want us to start, like, heading over or gate stone?
Should we
That's
gate
like a
stone
full
there
day's journey.
now,
Yeah.
or should we wait till they're inside?
If we gate stone now, yeah, like, are we planning on fighting them now, or are we still gonna follow them?
You don't have the messages to send this.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
all
I'm
I'm
talking.
talking.
We're
Well, I'm
discussing
talking
amongst
to Alexia, but
ourselves.
I mean, you can always. Never mind, I'm not there either.
They're in the mouth of the cave. We should,
Wait, but if me and Ryujin have a stone, then me and Ryujin can both send a message. So one of us can ask for what the plan is, and then the other one of us could, like, just tell them.
I mean, we can go if you guys think we should go. I don't know.
I just wanted to know what the heck.
Because you're very sneaky, but the rest of us, and I guess we can be kind of sneaky.
And it's also like 7 of us. We're gonna pop into thin air.
I mean, either way, it's not like it's an army. We can deal with whatever's on the
But we
other
can't-
side of this teleport.
But we
We just
can't.
have to
All right, now
kill
let's just go. Let's
We
go.
need him to do the math.
What? Math?
The math.
Or-
Math. The path.
Oh,
We
okay.
at least need that dude to survive. And somehow get him to take us the rest of the way.
Not if we have the link.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm not there, but that was metagaming. Don't listen to me.
Yeah. I'm going to take your idea and pretend like I said it.
Take Anna's idea and say it as a
But we did not. But you don't know if the link will bond with us. If the link decides to stand with the cult of Tiamat, what says that they'll stand with us?
I mean, seeing as you're the one who wants to bond with the link, I feel like that's your
I mean, I
problem.
would.
Is that a good idea though? Because like, you're the son of the god of prophecy. Would it be good if you bond with the link of prophecy? I don't think that's a good idea.
I feel like we were debating whether or not we were going to teleport. Now we're getting into a philosophical. Why don't we just teleport?
All right, yeah, let's do it. All right.
Teleporting it is.
Alright, you gatestone to Ilme in her little nook, her hidden nook.
Trying to be sneaky right off the bat. I got the hood up on the cloak. I'm sneaking.
And
out.
I'll explain more about what's going on, and I'll just say I just wanted you guys to be closer. Obviously they're staying the night, so all of our stuff will like recharge. So that was one thing, and I'm gonna sneak in and try and listen in on some of their conversations. And if you want to use Kai as well, because we're 150 though, it's 100. Little too far for.
Yeah.
If we want to sneak.
Sorry.
I'm gonna sneak in invisibly.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess we've been at 12 hours now, so I'm probably back to normal
Yeah, you're
now.
probably back to Enora.
You can go back to the cave with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Ilme, you sneak your way into camp. Go ahead and make a stealth check with advantage.
32.
32. You see they have like just one large tent that they're all congregating in, which actually makes it fairly easy for you to just sort of sit outside of that tent and listen perfectly to what they're talking about. But they are talking extremely hushed. And you hear one voice, I do not understand. We're right next to a cave. We could sleep protected from the elements. why are we camping outside? And you hear the voice of Clondarin. Because, friend, if you go in that cave tonight, you're going to die. Please. What dangers there might be in that cave are powerful, surely, but we just took down 3 giants, Doomwake giants. We could take down something like that. You are welcome to go. In fact, you are going to go whether I tell you to or not. That is why I've saved you in the fight today. To keep you alive for this moment. Your moment. So go. Prove me wrong. It's a pause. Alright. I will. You know, you're not as highly intelligent and clairvoyant as you claim to be, okay? I can take care of myself, and I'll prove it to you. You hear a figure stand and walk out, and you see it's the elf with the patches of dragon scale. He pulls out a sword, takes a deep breath, and walks into the cave. It is mere moments before you hear bones crunching, and his limp body is thrown out of the cave. And you hear as you see this enormous blinded cyclops with an enormous great club. No intruders! As it goes back into his cave.
Was that Polyphemus?
And now you understand why one of the markings on the map said, "No man." And that's where we'll pick up next week.
Wow.
Would it be no one?
That's what I was saying.
There's
Isn't it nobody?
different interpretations of how that story goes.
I don't know what the story is. So
I thought it was
The
no
story
one.
from the Odyssey is that Odysseus tricked Polyphemus, this Cyclops, when he asked who was there. He said, "No man." And then he thought that he was no man.
but I guess
well,
there are
there's-
different interpretations.
There's a lot of different.
Okay.
They all essentially
Nobody, no
translate
one.
to no one, nobody, no man, whatever.
Nobody's the one I know. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, this
and that led to Odysseus being able to blind him. I'll send you the story. It's a very fun story.
Real quick, speaking of
Really good.
Odysseus, just because I think everybody and anybody watching would be super into it, there's a dude on TikTok who's writing a musical called Epic the Musical, and it is based off of the story of the Odyssey, and you should check it out. It's really, really good.
Great. Plug it. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for a great session. Thank you for watching. This episode will be up on YouTube on Saturday. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.